What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy Show. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer, Nick Scarpino.
Hi, everyone.
The pure one, Tim Gettys.
Let Tim host.
And the one and only pride of Long Island, Colin Moriarty.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I call you Mr. Hockey from now on?
Mr. Hockey.
You know there was a Mr. Baseball
Yeah,
with Tom Selleck as a classic film.
Oh man,
It's a film.
I'm gonna call you Mr. Hockey from now on.
Whatever you want. Whatever.
What's your
gets
favorite hockey
balls
team
wet.
again? The New Jersey Rockets.
Right. The New Jersey Rockets.
You were going out of your way to be wrong on that. You could hear it in your voice that you knew the real answer. You're like, I'll swing really wide on this
I
one.
love the New Jersey Rockets.
If you didn't know, the Game Over Greggy Show is a video on YouTube and a podcast over on GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com. And what it is four friends come to the table, each with a random topic of conversation to talk it out amongst themselves for your amusement. I added the white bin over here. Remember? When it was just Colin and I on the conversations. Is that what I did?
You did it. You're a little rusty, though, because you used to go, you throw it out there, and then Colin, you in unison would go and like present it to the camera.
What do you mean we're rusty? I've never done it before on this show.
You used to do it all the time with
Not
one
on this
hand.
show.
Well,
Not on this show. Well, now
same
I got
movement.
mic stands.
It's the same
and people
muscle
here.
memory.
Nah, it's not the
been a good
exact same. All right. Like, subscribe, share. We'll see you later. No. Time for topic number one. It's me. It's what the fuck is happening with the Game Over Greggy Show.
Time to cancel
with
it.
And
this
the
damn show?
GameOverGreggy.com, the YouTube.com. Last week, 2 weeks ago, Game Over Greggy Show goes live. I go in the comments and I'm like, hey, some of you complain about, we not seeing everything, finding the topics. What if we broke them up into separate videos? Kids say, yeah, I'd like that. We're like, great, we'll try that. We do it. Overwhelming comments. We hate this. What are you doing? Tweets about it too. Now you all come back to support the individual videos. Thank you. That was the plan last week, as you noticed. We broke the show up into the 5 segments for 5 days. They each went up at the 6 a.m. published time. We always put up on the Game Over Greggy Show. However, we hear you. You don't like that. Here's where we're coming from. Tim,
Yes.
looking at you.
Yes.
People always ask me, how do you do all this stuff? You work at IGN, then you go do the conversations with Colin, the Greg Ways, all the Oreos or whatever. How do you not burn out? I'm burning out.
Yeah, it's really hard.
We're starting to feel the grind of doing all this content. And we love doing it all, but we want to get back to, if you remember on the YouTube channel, GameOverGreggy.com, of course, we ran in seasons for a while, where we did a conversation with Colin for a long time, then we took a month or two off. Then we did Oreo for a long time, we took a month or two off, or way longer for Oreo, actually. We took like a year off.
5 years.
Yeah. We went back in time to take time off. And so we then got into this thing of like, whoa, no, we'll do the conversations every Tuesday and Thursday. It'll be fun. And it was great. And then we're like, well, now we'll have Greg Ways every other day. And now we'll do the game. And it's getting to the point now where it's like, we're not seeing friends and family, and I want to play video games.
I haven't seen my wife.
It is a big march.
3
I'd like
days,
to
which
play
is,
some video games.
is what
So
it
we're
is.
not quitting, but we want to dial it back to a reasonable amount of work. Now, what we feel, of course, is reasonable is still delivering a video game, or nerdy conversation every day.
Every day.
Now, we do this podcast, like I said when we were talking about it in things, like sometimes we go 2.5 hours, talk about amazing things, and it sucks to look at YouTube analytics and see that only, what is it, 25% of the people finish the show?
Yeah. So a lot of people in the comments were actually saying like, "Oh, where are you getting these numbers from?" Like you're like implying that we were just making them up.
Yeah.
There was actual YouTube analytics that you can go into and see how many people are watching throughout the video.
And now, interestingly, people were trying to call us out and be like, well, YouTube's wrong all the time. I stop the show and come back later and jump to that. YouTube tracks that.
Yeah.
We see that information, see a spike if you know somebody's jumping around and doing that. And this is all, don't get me wrong, we want you to enjoy the content however you do it. We want to enjoy making it, though, and we don't want to be ready to murder ourselves. So we're trying different things here. We hear you that you want the full audio, which you get all the time over at GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com every Friday, $1. Great. If you want the free versions over on YouTube, here's what we're going to do. So you didn't like it broken up as a thing. Fine. We get that. We're going to still give you the full version of the show for free. However, we're moving days. Tim brought this up. It's a good point. We have too many days going on right now. There's too much. You get it here on Friday, get it here on Monday. It's confusing. So what we're going to do is every Friday, the brand new, you've never heard it before, MP3 version of the show will go live on GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com. Then over on YouTube.com/GameOverGreggy, last week's episode, stick with me, of the Game Over Greggy Show goes live. So like we're going to post
in its entirety.
One full video. Then though, what would have happened in a normal week, what'll happen, right, is that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are the broken up topics. You get one video a day, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Everybody has fun. Then Friday, if you want it, the whole show goes live in there, one thing for you to watch. However, that would be like, so the 4 parts would lead up to episode 14, right? Episode 14 then would go live on Friday, but then At the MP3 for $1 would be episode 15.
Yes.
So you'd be a few days ahead.
Fuck did you just say?
A full episode
Fridays.
goes
No,
live
I
for
get it,
free
I
on
get it.
Friday.
The important thing to stress is Fridays, right? So Fridays, if you want the full episode, if you want the new episode, go to GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com in podcast form. If you want that week's older episode that we've broken out, you can see the whole thing there on Friday, which is great. So I know Mondays suck and Fridays are traditionally awesome for everyone. This just made it awesomer.
Oh.
See where I went there?
Like your shadow boxing skills.
And so yeah, we're gonna try that, and that's the thing.
Again,
I
yeah,
think.
I don't know if you've noticed. This is the other thing I
Keep
talked
giving
about.
us, keep tweeting at us, keep telling us whether you like it or not.
I talked about, yeah, exactly. We want all your feedback, but this is the thing I was talking about with Christine the other day when I was like, first off, I said in last week's episode, right, people are going to get freaked out and yell about this in the comments, and you did. But it's one of those things where I felt somewhat slighted that, like, I always think of people who listen to the show and watch the show as our friends, right? And I feel like you guys feel, in this instance, we're very much feeling like consumers, right? And I've never thought of what we do as a consumer product, which was weird. So people are like, I hate this, and it's like, good, really?
You know what? I kind of felt the opposite, and here's why.
Okay, well, you've never had friends.
No, I pay you guys to show.
Right.
I pay to be a part of this group, which is amazing. In burritos. No, I actually thought it was kind of interesting and cool that people were like, I like the thing that you do so much.
Yeah.
That I'm kind of pissed you don't do it the same way.
No,
anymore.
I'm not
because
saying...
let's be honest, we kind of last week's episode was a little rough around the edges, right?
Bullshit. That I really took offense with.
Well,
people really were like, oh, you cut off in the middle of a conversation. I'm like, no, we were done talking about that. It was me moving the topic like I normally do.
I agree in the sense that, we'll lift the curtain up and disagree on that. Like, I think that...
We've never disagreed on camera before.
but I do think that, like, there was harder stops. Like, it felt awkward to reintroduce the show and, I feel like it was less organic that way.
Yeah.
I understand why we split it up. I think we should probably keep it split up because I think that... there are people there that will consume the content. But what we're basically saying is that we're going to feed the content to people that want it any way they can. Yeah, exactly.
Any way they can have it.
Now, I don't necessarily think that, truthfully, that's the best idea either, because I feel like there's a redundancy to saying like now we have all of the clips, then just another video. That's all. But
that's what they want.
Yeah, I guess I feel.
Like,
what's wrong with the playlist?
I don't want to bear because people don't use playlists. It doesn't work right for certain people.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is a lot of people are talking about the playlist, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, why don't you just annotate it?" And those are all great suggestions and things that like the playlist. We're gonna playlist them. These are gonna be playlisted with annotations.
The problem with annotations is mobile, right? Like you can't really.
In so many places, they just don't work.
So you guys can see how this is hard for us, right? There's a lot of different things to do, and we're trying to find the best way to do it. So it's not. So we're giving you guys. Something cool and something fun, but also, Greg doesn't have to turn to, high-grade pharmaceutical medicine to stay
Why
afloat.
did you dance around cocaine? Every other episode you've ever said, you say cocaine.
Because people now, I'm like the official cocaine guy for some reason.
Good. You've succeeded in life.
I've never done that in my entire life.
We need one of those people.
I'm terrified of cocaine.
We need cocaine people.
Cocaine's a scary drug. Don't do cocaine, guys.
It's a hell of a drug.
I make it sound cool. Because I make everything.
That's the whole
cool.
problem is that there's no there's no right answer, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do a show that's 2.5 hours long and not have people watching hear the great topic that was in the last third of it. You know what I mean? Like that's really upsetting. And breaking them out does that.
Exactly. And that's what's really cool about breaking it out is we get to promote them 5 different ways. You still get your whole episode when you want it, but now if you're more interested in one of the different topics, the headline of that, you can watch just that one. And it's really good for us just talk socially when we share this stuff, because we get to reach whole new audiences of people that end up watching the full episode because they're like, oh, I do want to hear about this, or I do want to hear about that. So.
And the other thing too is it sucks having a great thing from Colin in there that we boil down to an American Pie, thumbnail.
Yeah.
And it's just, and I'm not saying I'm not knocking anybody's topic.
But that's the thing. I like saying a lot of stupid topics.
Yeah,
like my things are going to be dumb. Like Tim's a little kid that likes a lot of, he likes girls and he likes cartoons. And I'm going to talk about that. And Alfredo. And I'm going to talk about those things a lot. Colin has some really good, thought-provoking things. Nick likes 80s things.
I like a lot of
and
things.
And then Greg just is very topical. Almost always. It's something that
he's like
things people should be talking about.
It's all over your body. It's all over your body.
Rub them right on your grundle.
Because the whole point here is growing and giving people more shit of what they want.
Yeah, and that's, I guess I came off wrong. I always think of us hanging out with you, the viewer or the listener, right? And that you're our friend listening to it. I never think of how we need to produce the product and what kind of product you want delivered. Mm-hmm. And that's right now we're just trying to satisfy everybody who wants it a different way. Something different to try.
Let's just not do it anymore.
That sounds like a good plan too.
I like doing it, and Greg,
we all like doing it.
You know what breaks my heart every once in a while, Greg, is you'll say something like that where I'm not having fun, anymore, and I don't want to do this anymore, and stop sleeping with my girlfriend. Things
Never
like
said
that.
that.
And
Never
I don't.
did that. I love that you sleep with
I
her.
just. I feel it sucks because I know you're half kidding and half serious. You're like
About sleeping with his girlfriend?
No, he gives me Steimer whenever I want.
Jesus, and you had
God,
to name
that-
her
that
too.
just-
And you had to name her.
Yeah, that got it real.
Hold on.
Did I do that? You gonna? That's fine.
You didn't even squeeze it. I flexed and you
I
patted it.
tried to squeeze it. I didn't want to hurt it.
Go on, Nick. Nick, go on. I insist.
Yeah, but that breaks my heart, right? And that's the kind of thing that we're trying to avoid, right? We have full-time jobs. I work sometimes 60 hours a week at IGN when I come in on time. We have convention seasons. We have really hard jobs. They're fun jobs. But when we come to do this is the thing that's supposed to be super fun for us, right? We talk about whatever we want to talk about in whatever fashion we want to talk about it in. We want to try to find that happy medium where we're not killing ourselves, because let's be perfectly honest, when we have fun, people that watch us have a tendency to have more fun too, right? And so we owe it to people. We're giving you guys a promise when we're saying click on this headline, is that we're going to entertain you for a few minutes, and if we're not having fun, we can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So
You
bear
heard
with
those
us.
podcast beyonds where we're not having fun.
Oh yeah,
No fun for
it's
everybody.
been the last 3 years. Let's be honest with you guys.
Doctor, come on.
Ever
now.
since you guys haven't been the same since episode 50.
Wow. Yeah, I guess that was really Jeff Haynes and Chris Roper's seminal moment on the show.
Tim, side note, am I actually in camera because I can't see myself?
Yeah,
Okay.
lean back,
You look
lean
like
back a
my
little
hammer.
bit.
What?
Looks
Lean
like my
back a
hat.
bit. Yeah, if
Yeah,
you go
I
that
should pan it
far
over a
back,
little
you're
You
in
go
trouble.
that far back.
He's gonna
See,
pan
this is the
it
kind
over.
of shit that we don't have a camera op. I got to come do this now.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, so to go back to it, we're just taking a break right now while this month gets crazy with GDC and everything else. We'll be back with Conversation with Colin. We'll be back with all the other stuff. Nick has a cool show he wants to do eventually that he keeps promising that he's going to do some
I wrote a bunch.
pilot stuff on. Well, he had a bunch written before too.
Oh, I wrote a bunch now. Do you want to hear the topics?
No,
Okay.
don't ruin it. Don't. Well, I don't want you to say it on camera when we're recording another show.
Wets people's appetite.
Wets people's appetite. You're like a Batman villain back there.
What?
Like a campy
What are you
Batman
doing? What's wrong with the shot?
villain. Please join us.
Nick's
at the
not
table.
in it enough.
I'm half in it.
Oh,
It's fine.
He's like,
where are we?
Two-Face. What year is
That
it?
brings us to our second topic. Unless are we?
No, that's too abrupt to stop. That's inorganic.
Oh my God! Stop. What?
Oh,
Look at you.
fuck you.
I'm gonna
Show-
make out with you tonight.
Whatever you want.
I do think a common misconception last week was that we were trying to move along the topics in a different way.
Which, you
than
know
we
what, to be
normally
perfectly
do.
honest, I'll be honest, I was trying.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah, what-
I wasn't doing anything different. I
no,
was just
like-
saying one thing.
Nick, it was just you.
Look
then.
what you guys
No,
are
it might-
doing to us out
Are
there.
you happy
tearing us
now,
apart.
Jimmy Champagne?
These two used to
burn
love
hell.
each other. Now you look at him, he's pointing a gun.
Now, everyone who's listening to the MP3 and gave you $1 has no idea what you're doing to Superman and Rick Grimes.
And Leon from Resident
It
Evil
is
4.
not Leon from Resident Evil.
Do you guys ever feel that it looks like they're stuck in cement and they can't get their feet out of it?
Yes, for sure for him. For sure, for Leon.
Like, I can't get out of this cement. I don't know why I'm in this cement. I'll take some. I'll take some of the juice for that last week, because
juice.
I was, I was trying to get us to segment it, and that's a proper pre-production. Everyone, talk about things before you do them. Don't just go try and do them. That's half our problem too, is we don't have enough time to actually sit and think about this stuff. So let it be lesson learned for everyone. But I feel like everyone got it. I feel like 100% of our audience now understands.
Yeah, they're all there. They're all with us. We love you. Thank you for your support.
Thanks,
We
guys.
want to keep making the goofy show for you.
We're trying to make everyone happy. And that's the thing. Is like, even though it's impossible to make everyone happy, that's what we're trying to do.
There's a
We're gonna
happy
keep
medium to
trying
find.
that.
I want to make
Yeah.
Colin happy, and I
No.
don't know
That's
how.
the
Please.
biggest goal.
That's my goal in life, is to make Colin consistently happy for an entire week.
Week.
Yeah, it's a week.
Let's go with day.
The-
Dream
Here's-
big.
here's
if
the
your
mis-
dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough to have.
Here's the
I
misconception.
like
Just like
Colin's eyebrows.
here's the misconception. Just like the misconception that this isn't Leon from Resident Evil 4, even though it clearly is.
That's
right?
Rick Grimes.
Like everyone thinks it's Rick Grimes, but this is so obviously fucking Leon. from
But it's like
Resident Evil 4.
Leon if he's down on his luck. It's like homeless Leon, right?
Yeah, like,
give
well,
me that much.
yeah, it is-
All right,
it-
that I'll
it's a
take.
broke down Leon.
I'll take that.
But the misconception is that I'm this fucking dour fucking person. I'm really not. I don't feel like I have like a downness and a pessimism to me, but that's always
Sure.
been the way I am. But I'm not. I feel like I'm sarcastic and like I have a good laugh every once in a while.
You do, but
There's a video when Greg and I went out this past weekend that I thought
Oh,
was,
Jesus
that
God.
was really funny.
It's hilarious.
Like so I like to laugh
too.
and have a good time,
You pull it up.
but I don't know. I am who I am. You know.
My thing is
can't
this:
grant
I have a tendency to I enjoy. I think it's fun, like kind of categorizing people, like giving people their sort of a character of themselves.
Stereotypes.
I guess it is. I don't want to say stereotyping because that's not the right word. Like Colin has a really sweet side, and you have a great sense of humor. And when we talk off camera, oftentimes it's. I mean, it's always phenomenal talking to you, but sometimes when you start to go into the negative, I like to play that up a little bit because I think that's a hysterical part of your personality, and I'm always happy-go-lucky, and I feel like I can play off that very nicely.
No, that's fine.
That's where my head goes. Same thing was we always called Tim the pure one, and in reality, he's just a scumbag. He is
Dirty,
just
dirty.
You're the dirtiest motherfucker
It's
I've
like
ever met.
go lick a garbage can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what Tim is.
I don't understand. That's what he does.
That's what he is in
Everything
life.
about it.
Just a bag of
Live it.
scum.
Just a bag of scum.
What are you gonna pull up this video at some
It's
point?
pulled
gotta
up, but
see
I
this?
wanted to make sure. So at 1942, I'm going to insert this. Now I'm going to make a note so I can do it so everyone can see the video.
That's true.
I'm making more work again for myself. 1942. All right, you ready?
It's such a dumb
I'm
video.
totally
It's the
ready for it.
dumbest of videos.
Is this an okay?
We're idiots. We're all a bunch
You're
of
really
children.
drunk.
Wait, there's two things about this video that offends me.
Yeah.
Okay, one is that you didn't choose to film it in the aspect ratio.
First off, everyone at home, I love that he made eye contact with me.
It's your
That
phone.
in the video you just viewed of me on camera,
It's on your phone.
I was filming myself like this somehow.
Who filmed
You
this?
are a fucking idiot.
Who filmed this?
I did.
Oh, you filmed it. Did
Yeah.
you film it on his phone or did you send
No,
it to
my
him?
own phone.
Oh, so you sent him the video.
Technology now allows us to share
All right.
videos from device to device.
Everyone, please,
Oh my
please,
God.
film everything like this, horizontally. Don't do vertical anymore. Horizontal,
Should we show Tim
especially
Yeah. He shows
Do you like the video?
The second thing that was offensive was your face, by the way. That was.
We were pretty hammered. It doesn't even make any sense.
Nate Ahern was in
What?
town. Nate
It
Ahern was
looks
in
like
town.
it's 2:00 in the afternoon.
It is. We were
It
drunk
is.
as shit.
We
And
went.
here's
We went to brunch. We went to a brunch.
I had
with
like
Nate
4
Ahern,
old
Charles
fashions.
on yet. Yeah, we were drinking old fashions.
Wait, were you? Was Nate in town?
Yeah, Nate was in town last week.
Oh shit!
He invited you. You were on the email.
What was I?
Yeah,
Yes.
you certainly were.
Baller.
You're the worst. You were the worst.
I know. Honestly, last weekend I had to apologize to so many people because I got invited to like 3 things and I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, you got something else going on? I'm like, nope. I just don't want to go to things.
See,
I
that's-
just have
that's
those
where-
weekends every once in a while.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. That there's rumors we might get Titanfall early. At which point, I don't want to go out with Colin on Saturday night. But Colin
If
never
you don't
goes out.
fucking come out on Saturday night, Greg, because you want to play fucking Titanfall,
It's a good game.
I'll burn this motherfucker right to the ground.
By the way, this is why I love Colin. There's no in between.
Yeah.
It is either 0
Or we're burning the fucker down.
burning.
I just love that it's Colin saying this. The guy who's like, I'm playing Danganronpa instead of going out to hang out with his friends. His friends,
be honest, this is-
friends do something every weekend. He never goes out.
This is part of the reason
True.
why I envy you guys for loving video games so much. I wish I did. Because you can buy a game and that's 40, sometimes 20 to 40 hours of your life that you can not have to go out and spend more money on drinking
Right.
or like hanging out with people that you're like, I see them all the time. So like me, if I'm like, I'm going to go see a movie, Tim can be like, well, dude, what are you doing afterward? I'm like, shh.
That
what am I
was
doing
kind of
after-"
like a borderline Sean Finnegan impression.
Was it?
Yeah.
Once you bring up the movies, then Finnegan's
I
in.
guess so. Anyway, but yeah, I envy you guys because I'd love to be looking forward to like Titanfall and just been like, yeah, I want to
Prepare
play
for
that.
Titanfall.
Here's the thing about Titanfall, though, right, with
Yeah.
Greg,
Yeah.
is that there's this great myth about Titanfall with Greg. Titanfall's gonna be a great game. Not my kind of game. I don't really like shooters.
Sure.
Well, online shooters. I like shooters a lot, but not single player campaigns. Greg is gonna play Titanfall for maybe 10 or 15 hours cumulatively.
You said 10. You said 10 in your bet.
10 hours.
You said 10 in your bet.
Here's another bet.
Yeah.
By the time March ends, Greg will never play Titanfall ever again,
Let's see.
unless he has to do it for work.
That's a safe bet.
And
Greg, you're breathing on the mic again.
I'm a little
breathing.
distressed that while Titanfall's a great game and everyone's gonna have a lot of fun with it, and it's gonna be very engaging, sell millions of copies, it's gonna be just explosive, critical, and commercial hit, I'm sure. I hear very little about Infamous out of Greg's future plans. When Greg and I bonded very much on Infamous and Infamous 2, and now Infamous Second Son is coming out on PlayStation 4, March 21st, and I don't hear much about Greg's plans.
What?
To be playing this game. Now I'm a little concerned and confused about this because,
Right.
you know, Is it because Cole's not in the game? Is it because
I can explain all this.
Wait, let's hear.
Oh, you want to hear more of his
this.
theories?
Because I think there's a term. I don't know if this is the correct term.
Okay.
And it might not be the term I'm looking for, but there's a term that comes to mind called a turncoat. Is that what's happening?
I don't know. I feel like
it's the Streisand effect.
I feel like it's the Streisand effect. I feel like Greg, he has grown out of Infamous. I feel like something about Delson rubs him the wrong way. I feel like
It's Troy Baker, clearly.
I just feel like there's something amiss about this because when we got Infamous 2, that's all we could talk about, right? But now, Infamous Second Son.
Yeah, that got me too. The wiggle all the glasses for
Infamous Second Son. I mean, I'm just not
Yeah.
hearing much about it.
Sure.
And
Greg, so what is your perspective on?
I mean,
this
the words
particular
you're looking
issue?
for here are sour grapes. It's like when your ex-girlfriend, she gets into another relationship
Yeah.
and they're like getting married. You're like, this marriage will never last. I don't know, give it 6 months. That's this guy over here. I got my ex-lover here, and he's all. Why am I not talking about Infamous? Am I getting Infamous this weekend? No. There you go. Case closed. In 10 days, when I have a physical copy of Infamous, life will stop, and you're well aware of that.
yeah, we'll
You're
see.
throwing around some barbs here. The Titanfall hour bet, I'm going to clearly get past that. I will play it again. I'm not worried, but I don't even care. I'm not even
What would you
offended
do?
by that. The fact you bring Infamous into this shows what a little fucking
What would
man
you
you
do?
are.
I really just did it to bother you, to be perfectly honest.
No,
What
I'm
would you
just
do
fucking
if you just came in and he was just like playing the entirety of Prototype?
Prototype.
Instead of
Oh,
Infamous.
Jesus.
I got the platinum in Prototype too.
I did too, but the thing is, that was
like,
rough.
he's like, I'm gonna replay that instead of Infamous Second.
I don't know
Son.
why we did that to ourselves. Prototype sucks.
Because it was an easy trophy.
The first one. But the trophies were not. Prototype's trophies.
Prototype 2 was easy. It was doing 2
No,
playthroughs.
Prototype, the
Bam.
first one.
Oh, yeah,
was really
yeah.
hard trophies. I don't even know why we're talking about this, but here's the
I think you brought this up.
but here's the thing: is that there's a lot of hullabaloo about
Right, now I'm
Titanfall
drinking.
in Greg's life, and I just don't feel like
We just did.
it's taking into account.
We did 4 hours of infamous content today for work.
We did do a lot of Infamous content.
Yeah, we did, but I set that all up now in days.
That's your job,
And days past.
It looks
feel like,
awesome, by the way. I should say that.
Oh yeah, it does look good. It does look really
It
good.
looks real good.
I'm just busting balls anyway. I don't care.
I know.
Titanfall looks fucking awesome. If I was into online multiplayer shooters that, like I like online multiplayer shooters that have a little bit of a twist.
Sure.
The twist in this one is you can play
Giant
with
robots,
mechs, which
yeah.
is cool.
This is pretty twisty.
But it's still a pretty like deathmatch and stuff. It's still kind of the same.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't really do it for me. I think the game's gonna
must
be,
like-
I think the game's gonna be fun, but I really fall in love with weird multiplayer shooters. Like, and everyone knows that. Like Fear 3, which is like I played the shit out of that game. I have no idea why.
Mm-hmm.
The Last of Us was different because it was like very survival based.
Yeah.
Call of Duty, but only the extinction mode.
Right.
What about Uncharted?
Uncharted,
I
I
like
play
that.
only for the trophies.
I played
Yeah.
a lot of that.
You like it?
Number 2. 3 I didn't get as much into.
You played the hell out of GTA.
Online? No.
Yeah.
Just single
You
player.
didn't?
No. Oh, Fredo did. I didn't play. I played a little bit. It crashed. I was like, I'm done.
GTA Online is basically what the world would turn into if there were no rules and there were no real consequences. I'm convinced. It just would
Yeah.
turn into horrible things.
I like this Knob Creek.
Is it good?
Oh, it's really good. Yeah.
I've never had it before.
By the way, here's
only
my-
a little bit.
Here's my prediction about Titanfall. By the way,
Here we go.
It will be, with the exception of like the big guns, like maybe Call of Duty or something, the best-selling game of the year, and
Cumulatively, platforms.
yeah, with Xbox 360 and PC as well. And I think the way people are talking about it's definitely going to be in that game of the year conversation. I think at the end of the year. But we'll, and I'm not saying like everyone has 10 or 15 games they want to talk about. I feel like that's going to be
Like 1, 2, 3.
like
somewhere
one
in
of
there.
the finalists probably.
Interesting.
It just doesn't do it. Shooters. I don't know. It's like
I know.
Mag when Mag came
Let
out.
me have you push your mic.
I don't know, man.
Like, just
A lot of
toward
hardcore
the
guys.
camera and talk into it at an angle.
Like this.
Right.
Like
yeah.
that.
Like this.
Don't
That's
breathe
better,
on it, though.
yeah.
He'll yell at you.
I'm hearing good things from the hardcore first-person shooter guys. Like
Oh,
the
yeah,
guys
for
that
sure.
play it
Alfredo,
all.
yeah.
Like Alfredo is like,
Yeah.
Titanfall's awesome.
Yeah, we
This
like
is
it a
gonna
lot.
be a good one.
But when it's
Like
like
game of the year. It's not.
I think it'll be considered,
But
but when it comes to like these online multiplayer shooters, like we're everyone always tells us we're obviously big in the PlayStation. They call us fanboys or whatever, but with Mag and SOCOM, which are like online center shooters, I don't give a flying fuck
Yeah.
about those games. The thing about Titanfall is that it's got like so much hype behind it.
do you think that? I don't want to lament too much on the old on that subject. I don't
On our
know
day
a lot
job?
about. Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, there are no perfect circumstances, right? Like when they release movies, when they release games, they obviously look for these huge opportunities to do so, right? And Titanfall kind of is hitting on all levels right now. Yeah. Do you think that game would be 1/10 of as popular as it is right now if it came out a year from now?
I mean, well, I think there's a lot of things. Like you said, everything's right for it. Like the developers of it are.
Is it it's a system seller?
There's so much stuff about it. It's a system seller,
right?
Hands down.
I mean, they're proven developers, and there's no games in the library right now.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to see these guys do something. We just put up an interview over on IGN.com.
On the IGN.com, if everyone
with
wants to
Vince
see it.
Zampella over on the Up at Noon
He's a
playlist.
badass,
You can get
by
to
the
that
way.
at go.ign.com/Up at Noon eps.
I'll be honest.
EPS.
I don't get nervous around people that much, but I was a little nervous around
The
him.
guy in the Minecraft Creeper sweatshirt is the one who put you on edge.
Yeah.
Not Jack Trenton when he came in. Big old Jackie Chan.
Trenton just has a way of rest in peace, Jack Trenton. All right.
He's not dead. Everybody not dead.
No, Trenton just has a way of putting you at ease, though. Trenton's one of those guys that you know is worth like billions, but he's just like, and you can see it and you can smell it on him.
He reminds me of like
And he
the
just
really
lulls
successful you.
He would be. That's what I
Yeah.
would be. I would be like, I would never, ever, ever say anything bad about anything. I would always be like middle of the road guy, like president, always good. Oh, God, it'd be so much fun. I would drive a Maserati. I would have cool shoes.
The thing about Jack Trenton, Greg and I dealt with him a lot, right, over the years.
Yeah.
Is that I like him a lot, and he was, considering who he is and how rich he no doubt is and how prestigious he is in his position, was really one of the nicest people I ever talked to, like from the industry, And like knew your name, would say hello to you, like all those kinds of things. Once told me I was a great interviewer. Greg told me he tells that to everybody. So
I mean, it's possible we're just two great interviewers.
See, if I were him, I would tell him that to everyone.
Just like Greg,
Tim favorites everyone's tweets.
Just like when I had that Hulk Hogan interview with Greg, and then Greg had to one up it. It's kind of
just like when you had fake cancer and I had real cancer. It's what I do.
I didn't have fake cancer. I had real cancer.
Nah. Am I allowed to switch topics now?
Yes.
Yes.
Tim, go.
Tim.
My topic is Tinder.
So this
Now, do you guys know what Tinder is?
No.
this is not Grindr, right? That's a different thing, right?
So, okay. Grindr might have come first.
Right.
I'm not too well versed in this, but they are very similar things.
Right.
So,
well, but they're not.
okay.
Right?
So,
Correct me if I'm wrong. Give me some rope and let's see where I hang myself.
Sure.
Tinder is the one where it flags other singles. They pop up. You get to say hot or not or whatever. And then if they say hot, you can communicate that way.
Yes.
Grindr is the one that's like, I want sex right now. Like it shows like in a radius of how close somebody are to you, blah, blah, blah.
yes, but I'm pretty also sure that Grindr is exclusively for gays.
I had heard a rumor that it started out as both, and then it just became a super
perhaps.
popular with gays. So I'm not sure if it's just gays. I can check that.
From what I understand,
should we sign Tim up for it and see.
From what I understand of all this happening is that Grindr happened, and then I thought it was just gays. I think
it might just be gay now.
I think they made Tinder.
You're right. Grindr, find gay, bi-curious guys for free near you with Grindr.
I think Tinder is the anyone version.
Yeah, but I don't think it's... the way I understand it, we have friends who use it. It is. We have heterosexual friends who use it. And it's not, I'm down to fuck. Who's fucking me tonight?
So that's the thing. I don't think Grindr is either.
I think that's just how people use it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's also the same
sense.
thing for Tinder. So for those that don't know, Tinder is an app that you download.
Dial it back. What's an app?
What's it downloading?
So you get this thing and you tell it some things about yourself and you apply it to like your Facebook profile or whatever. I could be wrong about a lot of this because I don't have a profile yet.
Sure you don't.
And
you don't need a profile. You're happy in love.
there you go, Nick.
Are you guys saying you love each other yet?
No, we're not.
No,
we're
Tim
not.
and I have not announced that yet.
We have not.
Probably
We have
20.
not.
Look for that in 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
He's got to get a little older for me first. I can't bring him home to mom. I'm just gonna think.
I got my beard coming in strong though.
It is. It's getting a little scraggly. You got coming
Yeah,
up.
I'm about to kill it. I
Yeah.
wanted it for the
You
show
gonna nuke
today. Nuking it.
All right.
Yeah, starting over.
fine.
So Tinder's this app. You download it and you put in your profile stuff. Say some of the things you like and whatever. Put up a couple pictures.
Oh, it's always been gay, by the way. Grindr.
Okay, cool. Then all you do is you say where you're located and like little just facts like that. And then all of a sudden you get a bunch of pictures of, you can say if you're looking for females or males or both or whatever it is. And you get these pictures of the opposite sex or whoever you want. And you just swipe left or right. One's hot and one's not.
Yeah.
And if you say someone's hot and they also reply to you saying that you're hot, then you can message each other.
It's like following each other on Twitter, right? Then you can like just message each other and do whatever privately and show pictures.
It's totally
of each
different
other's
than Twitter because
genitalia.
it's like there's not much functionality.
No, I know. I've seen certain ones of our friends. I'm not going to start naming names right now because this can get super crazy.
Yeah, but wait, hold on. Going in to finish this, you can start messaging each
We got
other.
a lot of friends on this thing. A lot of people
Well,
we all know. And
I
have
brought
in
this
common.
up to tell some stories, and I cleared it that we could tell stories.
Woo!
So we
Don't-
should be.
let's
we
not
should be
name
good.
names though. Let's just tell a story.
He said he cleared
I'm
it.
down.
Why don't
I'm
you just
down.
back off, Dad?
But anyway,
I learned it from watching you. Can you stroke that mic while you're looking at me, please? There it is.
So tell me stories, Tim.
Well, so
getting
from
more
this, you just
sleep.
message these people, and it's supposed to be it's a dating app,
Yeah.
but it's not a dating app.
Nobody's
it
dating.
could be used that
No,
way.
people do date.
Aren't
No,
our
no, no. That's what I'm
friends
saying.
using it?
Some
It
people do.
could be used that way, but the majority of users are not using it that way.
For Tinder.
For Tinder,
They're using it to hook up.
Are we talking about Kindle?
It's the Kindle. Is
Comicsology?
there a Tinder Fire? The HD.
There's a fire in Tinder. But so yeah, majority of people are using it for other means, and it seems to be working out well.
There's two parts to me, right?
Where are the stories?
Well, let's. What do you have to say?
Also,
Two
we've got
things.
that painting.
One, there's the painting. Oh. All right.
Stop making mouth noises.
The dog's making mouth noises.
He's chewing this ear off.
Part of me wishes that I were single so that I could totally abuse this system, right? Because this is one of those things that like right up my alley, right? If I could do that and I could have my pick, I would probably become addicted to that and never get married.
What if I told you part of you is single?
You think part of me is still single, but that part died
Single
a
is
long
a state
time
of
ago.
mind.
Some birds weren't meant to be caged.
Oh my god, your hair looks fake. Can we take a second to talk about
I'm
Greg's hair
having
today?
a great fucking
It
hair
looks
day.
really good.
Yeah.
It looks like you just stepped out of like a Vidal Sassoon salon in LA, and Vidal just cut your hair, and you were like, "I look."
Vidal himself.
Shout out to Vidal.
What up, Vidal?
That's my dude.
Part of me thinks I'm actually really glad that I'm married most of the time because I don't think that this is something that man was meant to have. You know, this
mean-
is a nuclear weapon for STDs.
This is AIM chat, but in real life. This is fucking talking to people and having this whole
fucking alright.
cyber sex stuff that like little kids have in middle school. Or
Yeah.
at least my day.
Little kids have.
You guys had cyber sex in middle school?
Not
Tim,
cyber sex, but you know, just like the
What?
nasty
I'd love
things
to
you
read
say to
Tim's
people.
you go to the
cyber
chat
sex
room
logs.
and pretend like it was a
Yeah,
girl
like
you were talking
we've
to.
talked about this many times.
hella hot.
Hella hot. But now people just be Tindering and like things happen.
People be Tindering.
People be
I come in and you're
tender,
hella hot, but it turns out I gotta take a duty.
What?
That's how little Tim would talk
Oh,
to
kinda.
girls.
Oh, yeah,
Remember,
yeah,
remember that story you told?
sex.
Anyways,
Big Tim talks. Oh,
come back
yeah,
to the stories.
So going back to the stories, this AIM chat thing. This hey, I'm hot, you're hot. Hey, let's talk about sexy stuff. That's just what happens. So a good friend of ours starts using this thing, and just going through, saying, "Oh, hot, not hot."
Who
not,
is this
whatever.
friend?
I don't want to be naming names.
Well, are you allowed to name names? Did he say you could?
He said I could, but you know, there's no reason to do.
All right, I would name names.
Yeah.
This is an
Never
interesting-
name names. Except for right now. Who was it?
Ramon Navarez.
It was
Ramon.
not Ramon. It was not.
When
We'll
do I
say
get to
later.
meet Ramon?
Oh, he'll be here at some point.
But anyway,
Go on, go on.
This
I
guy's.
insist
This
I have to
guy's.
meet him.
We get a text. A big group of us good friend coworkers. We're hanging out this weekend, and we're all at the same house.
Not
and
me.
we get a text from one of our. You were invited, and you didn't come because you wanted to
Do nothing.
whatever. This whole
Truth
dude.
phones.
So we're chilling, and we get a text from this guy like, "Hey, I just hit up this girl on Tinder, and she wants to hang out. Should I do it? Should I invite her to my house, or is that a bad call?"
You're like, bad call, get a hotel
And
room.
we're all like, "This is. I don't know if you should be doing that, right?" And then we didn't even have time to respond, and like. Well, I guess we had time to respond, but we didn't. And then 2 hours later, he responds, "Oh, don't worry, invited her over. It was awesome."
She came over. Long story short, because it's not our stories. I don't want to glorify someone else's awesome day.
I want you to glorify. I want every
we were
fucking
giving clearance
detail.
to glorify the
He
story.
told me this story too, and so at first he was like,
Will you name names?
No, I won't
Will you
name
give
names.
vague descriptions of
"I
people?
won't name it.
Give me ethnicity.
I am the person you
Give
can
me
trust
a
with
facial
everything.
hair.
Sits next to me
Can
at
we-
work.
Can we get like a guess who board going? Like
Oh, okay. I know exactly
back
who
to
you're
back or
talking
face
about.
to face.
Left of me.
What the fuck?
Is he from
so
where I'm
back
from?
to back.
Yes, he's from.
You're in the same elbow.
Oh, like from your perspective to my left.
He's from where I'm from.
Okay.
Yes.
The Pride of Long Island.
Let's like turn this to a.
Let's
tell
tell
the
this
story.
over. So
Tell
he
the story.
starts. He goes, Nick. come here."
Bobby Amos.
He goes, "Nick, I gotta tell you a story." And every time one of these guys pulls me aside and says, "Nick, I gotta tell you a story," the first thought that goes to my mind is, if HR hears whatever is gonna come out of this guy's mouth next, we're both getting fired, because I'm sure this is not safe for work. And sure enough, it was not safe for work. The story goes, let's go hit him up, and he initially was like, yeah, I'm gonna invite her. She's cute. Then he gave her his cross streets. Then he freaked out because he was like, what am I doing? I can't just tell someone randomly. So she's like, what's your address? And he's like, whatever. And then he was like, screw it. So he gave the address. And she ends up coming over. And he was like,
They were watching TV.
They were watching TV.
For a second.
Yeah.
Instantly start making out. And
nice.
My favorite detail he told me was that they took the scenic route and just did a little bit of everything.
That's what's good.
Yeah.
That's what's good.
And so I think
these Tinder girls.
But that's the thing. There's something to be said for that hookup. Like, a lot of people say that the one night stand is horrible. Those people are wrong. Actually, it is horrible. Don't do it. It's just a terrible thing.
It's not. I don't agree with that.
Part of the reason why it can be good is because some women who meet men for the first time and know it's going to be the only time are less inhibited because they know they're never going to see this person again. And so that's what I think you're getting here is you're getting those encounters where you know it's just that night. So let's make it count. Let's go crazy, right? Mm-hmm. And then boom, you're done. And you don't have a guilt because you don't really have any connection to this person. It's all physical. And I think it's very, very interesting, but I also think it's insanely dangerous, personally. Because it's too much power. And I know there are guys like you out there, Tim, that would be like, no, I'm not going to text this girl back because I don't really like her that much.
I mean, no, beyond that, like...
I would totally...
Like, just on the other side of this, just the pure one, like, I'm not down with this one-night stand stuff. I am not down with me Tindering. I'm down with my friends Tindering and telling me stories.
Yeah, you're that guy, though. See, so everyone thinks that Tim's a pure one. You think he's the nice guy. He's not a nice guy. He's very smart. He's the guy that's like, let's send the infantry in first to just ferret out and be fodder. And then they all get killed. And he's like, now let's send the Marines in. And then he goes in and has a coffee, you know?
That's a great analogy.
You gotta watch out for him.
I don't agree. Like, one night stands, I'll tell you right now, I've never...
Wipe your nose. Can you wipe it?
I'm sick.
The thing about one night stands to me is I've never...
sad looking.
I've never had like a literal one
Really?
night stand. No, never.
Interesting.
Like, I've had girls where I've slept with them once, you know?
But you knew them before.
But I knew them before. Yeah, like...
relationship.
But to me, it's like... You know, I think that it's not even like a sexual liberation thing or anything like that. I just feel like if the mood strikes you and it strikes another man or woman, you know, and you want to have a one night stand and that's what your thing is, whatever, like, more power to you. Do whatever the fuck you want. Like, I'm not gonna cast aspersions and judge you because you want to have a one night stand with someone. I know a lot of people that have had a lot of one night stands that are totally fine people. You know,
yeah,
like,
and that's my thing. Is like,
so I'm just saying, like, I don't want to judge people
on their decisions.
Yeah,
like,
I just when I say bad one night stands are terrible, I just mean the one night stands that I have had in my past were terrible. Luckily, I was always
That's your
smart and safe about them, but boy, there were some weird ones. There were some just weird things in there. Because I think
Comic Club,
a lot of Comic Club.
Yeah.
I just think about the women that would go home with me.
Right.
So real quick,
that's always a
going
mystery,
back to
right?
the Tinder.
Back to the
talk.
Tinder.
Like,
So that story goes on. We don't need to get into all the gritty details of that. But the point is,
Are you
There's
sure?
a couple interesting details there.
I mean,
though.
you can feel free
Yeah,
to
feel-
give.
I'm
them
not
up.
going to share those. We'll
You have
share that
permission.
off.
I don't understand. Like,
No.
This is bad. You're in bad form.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You have all the subpoenas. You got all the stories. Give me your findings. You give me nothing.
Oh.
You're blacking
Saying
out
it's-
every
You're
other
saying
word.
it's bad that I'm
I
not
can't
saying
say
things. I thought you were saying it's bad that we're talking about this.
No. I can't say it because I don't have. That's 2 degrees of separation.
Okay, I'm gonna give
You
the
gotta
really
have to
quick
say it.
version of the
Thank
funniest part of the
you.
story is that he used way too much lube, and at some point had to get a towel because it was just too slippery. And I love that.
That's
I love
not the best part
everything
of the
about
story.
that. Oh, then what's the best part?
well, I would. All right, yeah, go on.
She was into some stuff.
Like,
Oh my God! Yeah, how did I forget that?
Go ahead, Tim.
I mean, I want you to describe this.
No. This has to come from you. I'm gonna make you do
At
this.
some point, she just grabs his hand
Yep.
and pulls it over her throat.
What?
And he doesn't know how to deal with this, so he just goes along with it. But like, I'm sorry, but that's weird. Like, if you're into that, then that's not weird because you're
what do
into
they
that.
call
And
that?
that's
There's
cool.
a name for that.
Choking.
No.
Autoerotic
Yeah.
asphyxiation. Did
But
you guys
like-
just win a bet?
No, you and I were like, we're not.
Wouldn't that have been awesome if unspoken Greg just paid out a bet based on?
I
I
feel like I should pay you money because I was like, I'm not gonna have a drink.
That's what.
tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was
Colin
like,
said beforehand we have to start chipping in for drinking the expensive stuff, which
Oh,
I didn't know was
gotcha.
expensive. But then I started drinking it.
No,
and,
Knob Creek's not that expensive. I'm just saying that
It's good though.
I buy all the bourbon, but also
I bought-
I
My Johnny Walker from 2 weeks ago.
that ain't bourbon. Don't drink it. That's scotch.
Scotch, my friend.
Okay, but with Tinder, this all leads up to something. The one story that I really wanted to tell. So our friend had this experience.
Okay, Nick.
Oh my God.
Nick's dead.
Go on. Fuck them.
Okay, so our friend had this experience, and he was like, "This is awesome. Like,
I'm using this every day.
This is the best thing." And we've heard a lot of people have some really bad experiences, like
Right.
things that just don't work out. There's also people that are using it for dating, and like that's cool. Like, I mean, not that this isn't cool. This is fine. if
Cool
that's
in a
your
different
thing.
way.
It's like
I don't know any
exactly.
of them, but I'm sure there are some.
You know people.
I know people that are using it under the guise of dating.
Guess that's true.
But in
guess
reality,
that's
what's happening is they're just picking the hottest chick they can find and then trying to find the path of least resistance
So-
to her underwear.
This led to us at work all talking about this and being really excited about it. Now our good friend, oh God, it's so hard not to say names. Like,
Yeah, don't say names.
I'm trying not to.
Bobby Amos. Bobby's happily married with 2 children and lives
Yeah.
in the middle of
Bobby
nowhere.
does not do any of this.
So
Tell me more about this other person.
this guy's talking to us, and he's just like, I think I cracked the code. He's like, Tim, you really know this whole YouTube thing, and like you love scheming YouTube and figuring out all these things and these thumbnails and these headlines and all this stuff, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I think I got that for Tinder. I just need to choose the right profile pictures.
No,
and I'm like,
Stop right there
yeah,
and speak slowly because this is genius.
yeah. I mean, it really is. It's also just ridiculously not cool, but it's genius.
Still
So
genius.
you choose your profile pictures, right?
Do it at
And
your own
That's
risk.
the thing that you have to don't just use
Like
like
Greg's
a picture of
license
Greg
picture.
Miller.
My
Right.
my license picture is awesome.
You should put that on there,
All
man.
right, I'll put a timestamp and all
No,
that.
I'm saying on this program, you should put that. You should just use it and see what happens, just with your license picture.
Oh, I should do.
Yeah.
I should get on Tinder and see
Yeah.
how many hits I get with that. I see what you're saying.
So,
That'd be a fun exercise. Use the worst picture of you.
but what I'm saying is, don't use a picture of someone else because guess what? They're going to meet up with you, and that's not going to work out
Right.
well, right?
Catfish.
Yeah.
Remember in the movie? Whatever. Go on.
No idea.
No idea what you're
So,
The documentary Catfish that
is that
spawned an
Blackfish,
MTV
the one with
show.
the whales?
No, it's
Oh, where it's like I'm gonna go to this girl's house in the middle of the night.
Oh.
I thought that was a horror movie.
no, it's about people blowing up other people's like online schemes, basically.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It started with a movie. Now it's a TV show. The movie's really good.
Interesting.
Man, well, that goes right into this. So, what you do is all you know in this Tinder profiles is you see it, like a couple pictures, handful of pictures of people, and then their interests. Now, their interests are pulled from Facebook pages that you've liked. So he's just like, what do hot girls like? I'm just gonna like those things.
And Tim, what
Because-
do hot girls like?
So when you're like flipping through the things, he found that a lot of the people that are saying yes to him are the ones that have a lot of things in common because you can see what they like. So it's like there's like little circles that indicate the icons of what the things are.
Yeah.
So if you get like, he was like, I think the magic number is 4. If you can match 4 things up, you're gonna get a lot of likes. So we had a big discussion. What do hot girls like?
What do they like?
Yoga and
Ugg boots.
healthy Uggs.
Uggs.
Beyonce.
Starbucks.
Beyonce, Starbucks, like we're saying these things, hiking. We're like,
This.
okay, yeah, we're just
five
gonna put
right
these
there.
So he likes all this stuff. He's getting a ton of.
Well, because here's the thing.
Yoga
I mean,
is awesome. That's
here's
so
the
funny.
psychology, right? The girl looks at your picture and goes, "He's kind of cute," and then needs the reassurance that you're actually not a psycho killer. So she needs to know that you like hiking
Of course.
and Starbucks.
Now,
nobody ever gets
so
murdered
the
on a
story's
hike.
not over.
Okay.
Because this is genius.
Right.
He is genius for that. But my favorite part of this, and I'm naming names for this because I love it.
Don't name names.
I'm naming this our good friend Sean Finnegan.
Yeah.
The
I knew he was going to find his way into this story.
the night of, and I don't even know if he knows it, and this could be totally unrelated.
This
But
is-
he sits near us and overheard a good portion of this. And I go home and I'm just on my internet and I go on Facebook
On my internet.
and all I see, Sean Finnegan just liked hiking.
What's funny is this. What's awesome about that is this. You can't blame him because if it works, it works. Who cares what the good
That's
information
amazing.
came from?
Sean Finnegan likes hiking. Good for
That's a
him.
good shirt.
Yeah, that should be one of our new shirts. Sean Finnegan
Sean
likes
Finnegan
hiking.
likes hiking. Don't tell him about it though. Just give him one when it goes live.
I fucking love it. That's going to be the next shirt
That is pretty amazing.
with a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Is there a Tinder like logo at all?
Well, it needs to be liked through
I don't
Facebook,
have
so you get the
to,
thumbs.
Oh,
anyway.
like yeah, okay.
If you're
Yeah.
paying attention to the story.
No, it was a really convoluted story. There's a lot of
I
things,
kept
a lot
it.
of moving parts. to this
It
story.
was like a fucking Game of Thrones novel.
It was like at what point did the fucking Dragon Queen get into this thing? Oh, let's move on.
Am I allowed to, or is that too abrupt?
Why are you saying it to me? I was
Because
like,
you're the one that thought it was too abrupt
You're
last
all
time.
a bunch of fucking monsters, is why. Nick, what do you got for me?
So I like to watch movies occasionally, right?
Yeah, you like to make them too.
And every once in a while, I like to watch the same movie over and over again. This is what Netflix is for. You can go on, you can find such classics as The Hunt for October, which is a phenomenal film. You'll see on AMC. I like to watch the AMC every once in a while. What I like about watching the movie over and over, it's like listening to a song over and over again, right? The lines of each movie kind of become iconic for the actual thing, right? So what I wanted to ask you guys today, and it's going to be a quick topic. We can just go around, or we can say multiple ones. What are some of your favorite movie lines? Why do you do that? Am I
Because
doing
everyone
that?
loves you. Yeah.
Really?
You're very particular right now.
Interesting.
Watch the clip. You'll see.
I'll watch. I don't watch anything we do.
Favorite movie lines.
Greg, what is one of your favorite movie lines?
You're never gonna regret this, Ray. From Ghostbusters, when they come out of the bank after he puts another mortgage on the house, Venkman goes, "You're never gonna regret this,
Lots
Ray."
of people have 2 mortgages these days.
Yeah. No, it's way more than 2.
3.
I always think of it because the first time I ever used it in a conversation was I convinced my friend Poe to buy a PS2 back in the day, and he liked games, but maybe not enough to own a console, but he finally did it. So he when you get that bill, when you're our age, you're a teenager,
that's a lot of money from back then.
$300 or whatever. He's kind of scratching his head, and as we're leaving, I opened the door to the game stop, and I was just like, "You're never gonna regret this, Ray."
I love
And
it.
he was like, I immediately regret it.
And he immediately regretted it. We bought SOCOM and the fucking modem, and we never played one.
I bought SOCOM and the modem too, and I was like, why the fuck did I buy this?
I rented it, and I was very happy I rented it.
I didn't even know. I couldn't even understand. I get it on the PS2. I was like, what the fuck is this thing?
Another
It's an abomination.
underrated line is "Idle Hands." Seth Green when they open the when the kitchen's trashed and they open the microwave and there's the hand that got exploded and it's all disgusting. They want to make microwave burritos. The other guy's like, "Man, do you think we should clean it up?" And Seth Green goes, "Yeah, while we're at it, we'll just clean the whole fucking house. This isn't our mess," and tosses in the burrito and shuts it. I used that in a Burger King once and got a good laugh.
I love that movie. Jessica Alba has
God.
never looked better.
That was her breakout role.
No one has looked better than
No,
that.
she
that
was
movie.
in that little angel costume.
Yeah.
We've talked about this on this show.
We do. We come back to this a lot.
heaven to kick it with me. Who the fuck wrote Idle Hands?
Someone who's probably a millionaire right now. He's just counting money, Idle Hands 1, Idle Hands 2.
There's no Idle Hands
sequel.
2.
No, they should have made
They
one.
perfected it.
They should have made one.
One and done.
All right,
He had
kid,
another
you've had
hands.
your fun. Now get off the wall. His head gets ripped off. Offspring.
Yeah.
Tim.
Oh, I got this. So for me, this is the easiest thing. There's what I call the triangle of perfection, where every 2 ways there's a connection. First off, Air Force One, get off my plane. There's something so magical about that it just makes me.
Of course,
happy.
He's the president.
The iconic line before the president of the United States kicks the Russian terror or the Ukrainian terrorists out of
It's
Air
just
Force One, right?
It's so good.
He kicks Commissioner Gordon out, yeah.
He does kick Gordon out.
It's just so good because he holds him.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's Gordon. That's crazy. But
Why
he
can't I
holds him.
remember his name?
Gary Oldman.
Thank you.
He says it. He throws him out. There's a pause where he chokes for a second
Right.
and then flies away.
Yeah. It's the worst. It's like the
just
worst death.
artistry.
imaginable.
It's so good. Now moving down the triangle,
Sure.
that goes to another classic, Snakes on a Plane.
Love that.
Where
So
Samuel
the
L.
triangle is
Jackson.
really just a plane.
No,
So anything
no,
that was
no,
made
no.
on a plane.
No. So the other way is Samuel L. Jackson. I want these motherfucking snakes off my motherfucking plane.
Yeah.
I like people throwing things off planes. There's something about that. I'm just whenever I hear these lines, I'm
very
like, yes, yes.
Perhaps he's wondering why he would shoot a man before throwing him off a plane. Right?
Yeah,
great.
that's a line.
Agree with that. That was the third one.
Yeah.
That's the other part of the triangle, right?
So no, going to the triangle. So the triangle only works the 2 ways. The third quote: Harrison Ford,
Yeah.
Han Solo,
Yeah.
going down. I love you. I know. It makes my balls wet.
I know. What? You got something to say?
You say wet or sweat? Because I couldn't tell which one it
I
was.
said wet.
It's like we were talking in the car, remember?
Yeah, I remember the famous Neil Patrick Harris line.
Yeah.
From
Makes
Harold
my
and
balls
Kumar.
sweat would be even better, but a little
That's
fucked
an
up.
actual physical thing that happens. Colin, you got one for me?
I got a few that come to mind.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is, my brother and I always say this to each other still. I think it comes from Under Siege. The great Steven Seagal movie.
It's classic Steven Seagal.
Where he's like
Gary
he's like
Busey.
the cook or whatever on the
He's the cook.
and there's a
/ Navy SEAL.
yeah,
Ex-Navy
yeah,
SEAL.
yeah, yeah. But there's a scene where he's like, I don't even remember the fucking context of it. My brother and I have been saying this to each other for like 20 years though.
I
he's
just
like,
watched
and he's like, he says something. He's like, "I'm just a chef," or whatever.
No. He goes, she goes, "Who are you?" And he goes, "I'm just the cook."
Oh, the cook. Yeah, it's like that's what my brother said. Yeah,
God,
like we'll leave
so
voicemail
funny.
messages with just that on it.
It's after, so it's after. It's that scene right after the girl pops out of the cake, right, and she's topless, and she's phenomenal. And then
I never saw this movie.
It's such a good. It's Tommy Lee Jones' like best work, arguably.
I love Steven Seagal
Lincoln.
too. I love Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal back in the, I wanted to be Steven Seagal for a very
Everyone
long time.
wanted to be.
Is that what the shadow boxing was all about?
That's half what the shadow boxing was. Steven Seagal used to do a martial arts form called Aikido, which was just looked so cool. Really hard to learn. It's like a lot of like moving your arm and flipping people, and then chopping them right in the neck for no reason, and then hitting the balls. Like it was like neck balls flip. That's what everything was. But Under Siege was amazing because when it came out, it's the concept of this movie is a cook was on the ship. Right, the ship gets taken over by terrorists who are like trying to take the Tomahawk missiles or whatever. I can't remember.
Sounds
that
like
part.
Deep Blue Sea.
It's nothing like Deep Blue Sea. That had a lot more to do with sharks. And the cook is the only person that they like kind of marginalize. They're like, oh, we'll just lock him in the meat locker or whatever it is, and we'll kill him later. But it turns out he's actually an ex-Navy SEAL who's on the ship because he like saved the admiral's life or something like that. But he's kind of a dick because he's like a rogue, warrior, like a badass. And so no one knows who he is because the admiral's like, well, you just come on the ship, you can finish out your career here, and then you'll go on and retire. But I'll watch over you. So of course they kill the admiral, and he's like, oh no, I have to be crazy. And so he saves this girl that's on there. She's a love interest. Then he kills a bunch of people in front of him, and she goes, who are you? And he looks back at the guy. I swear to God, as hard as he possibly can, is like, I'm just a cook. And then he moves on. And that was it. That was
one line in the
height
movie.
of his career was right there.
Right, that
one, and he did a movie called, and I shit you not, this is the title of this film, Hard to Kill.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. This is the thing about Steven Seagal. This is the funny Steven Seagal connection with the Moriarty clan. Is that
there's a connection?
Yeah, there is. Is that my father, who's like a really stoic, like silent, quiet dude. He like loves watching movies and like he goes to movies like every weekend with his girlfriend. Like he just sees everything and like watches a lot of TV shows on Netflix and stuff like that when he can. Hates TV though. Has a huge sticker on his refrigerator that says "Kill your television" on it, but we'll watch it all the time anyway. And he fucking loves Steven Seagal. Like he fucking loves Steven Seagal.
There's nothing not to like.
And when I was a little kid, like 6, 7, 8 years old in the late 80s, early 90s, like we'd rent every Steven Seagal movie and just watch it.
And there were a lot of them, by the way. He
there
did,
was
a movie
like
every 6 months.
Yeah, like there were probably 20 of them in between 1988 and 1995 or something.
1989.
Like
he did like 20 of them in 1 year.
But the other movie that I think is it's one of my favorite movies of all time, top 3 for sure, is Caddyshack.
Oh.
And basically anything Rodney Dangerfield says in that entire movie is quotable. My favorite is when he drives up. One of my favorites. So there's a lot of good ones. You see Caddyshack?
No.
That makes me just want to ring your. That makes me just want to ring.
I'm bad with movies, guys.
That's a must-see movie. Mm-hmm. The best sports movie ever.
It is.
And he just drives up with the Asian guy that's like driving his car, and the guy comes out and he's like, "This is my friend Wang. No offense." And so he walks in. It's like so dumb, and like just every 5 seconds there's like a quotable. When he's in the right after that, when he's in the shop or whatever, and he's like, "I'll take one of these, and I'll take 2 of these, and I'll take," because he's like a rich guy in the movie, and then he sees the guy Ted Knight's character wearing the hat, and he's like, "This hat though," whatever. He's like, "You get a free bowl of soup with this hat or whatever." Then he Smales walks by and he's like, "Looks good on you though," and then he just does like that face. He always does like that, like
roll of eyes.
Yeah, it's
God, it's so good.
It's so. And
that one's got like, I mean, you've got everything Chevy Chase says is amazing, and everything Bill Murray says in that movie.
They're all ad-libbed, I think, in that movie. At least I think everything Bill Murray says is like unscripted or something like that. And they didn't like each other.
No.
Yeah.
You have another classic Harold Ramis film. Actually, that was his first one, right? That was the first one he directed, I think. And that was his actual director.
Yeah, and R.I.P. by the way. I mean, that's he died recently, and that's his greatest work in my opinion.
He realized, I think there's a funny story in the behind the scenes on that where they realized about halfway through filming that Bill Murray and Chevy Chase never actually had a scene together. So they wrote that random scene, and like they wrote it the night before and shot it the next day where he hits the ball through Bill Murray's thing and he starts offering him weed and stuff. He's like, nope, or moonshine or whatever it was, and he's like, nope, okay, well, that's good. Cannonball, come on, cannonball.
Oh, maybe that's like the whole ad lib or like
that whole scene I think was ad libbed, but they did not like each other. Like I guess back in the day, Chevy was a little hard. Bill and Chevy are a little hard to get along with.
Yeah, both of them do really well right now.
What's that?
Both of them make friends really easily right now.
Yeah. They're saints from what I hear.
But just real quick, I just want to give a shout out real quick to a specific scene. Now, there's a Ramon Narvaez connection here because this is also one of Ramon's favorite movies. We used to watch in college like every day.
I missed that
for like 4 years. I put on his wall the scene. I don't know if you guys remember when they're in the club, like in the dinner scene when Rodney Dangerfield's with all of his friends. First of all, I have no idea who the fuck any of these people are. That like, you know what I'm talking about? Like
bros. There's
like,
entourage.
He just has like an entourage that's with him.
because he's awesome.
And he's like making them laugh. Whatever. This one, he's like, tell the chef this is low grade dog food. And he's like just giving money to like all the waitresses and stuff like that. But then he walks up to Smale's table with like his wife and his grandson and stuff like that. And there's one specific scene. I want people to go look it up because it's like so understated. And I never even realized how funny it was. Just one throwaway line where he's like talking to all the people and like just making fun of them. Mm-hmm. And he quickly says to a woman, he's like, "Hey doll, you live alone?" And then like just stops for like a few seconds, and then it just walks away and keeps going down the table. And I'm like, that is just the funniest thing. You can tell he was just throwing shit in that was like clearly not written. For anyone. Yeah. And like that specific scene to me like resonates, like where he thought that they were gonna cut or something like that, and they just let him keep going. And so he just like.
So there's another funny story they said in the making of where. That was one of the first roles that he had done. Prior to that, I guess he was a stand-up comedian, and it was like he was known as like the king of the one-liners, who would set up in one line. And he said that he was like after the first couple of days of shooting, he was like a nervous wreck, and he went to Harold Ramis and was like, "I don't think I can do this anymore." And Harold's like, "Why? You're doing great." He was like, "Yeah, but every time I say anything, no one's laughing." And Ramis is like, "No, they can't laugh. They'll ruin the take if they laugh." And he's like, "Oh." And then from that on, of course, he went on to have just an amazingly glorious career. He did Back to School, and that was amazing too.
Oh, Back to School, like those two movies, and I would honestly throw Ladybugs in there. Like I said, like last time we talked about, like those are fucking funny movies. He's a funny dude. I was just watching, like we talked about it, like the history class scene in Back to School.
Yeah,
is like just so fucking awesome. It's like not, and I was also watching the Oingo Boingo party scene.
Dude, Boingo was in
when
that movie.
When they're playing Dead Man's Party.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Do you see Back to School? No. We have to just watch these two movies. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, we really do.
We should just have a movie night or something.
Back to School is one of those like, it's just such
amazing
a good,
movies.
Good film. It's about a guy who's rich and he got rich on his own, like, you know.
It's the same character from Caddyshack.
It is the exact same character. He always played the character, but it's about a guy who's super rich because he was just good at making money, entrepreneur or whatever. But he never went to school, and his son's failing at college, and so he goes, "This is how I can bond with my son. I'll go back to school. I'll finish school." And of course, he's super rich, so his first instinct is to just buy his way through everything. So this is awesome scene where he goes, he walks into the dorm room, and there's this tiny little dorm room, and they're sharing these bunks, and it's this kid that never did another movie, and Robert Downey Jr. as his awesome. This is like back when Robert Downey Jr. like his first time, he was awesome.
Iron Boy.
He was Iron Boy. But he had like badass punk hair.
And he had a cool Duran Duran sticker on his fucking furniture, which I thought was really cool.
Absolutely. And so Ryan Dangerfield's first thought is like, we can't live in here. This is horrible. We're moving into I guess he's like, we're moving. Oh no, actually, I think he was like, yeah, I'm gonna move in here too. So they go away, and then they come back the next day, and all of them are like, he's like, I got everyone in their own rooms, their own dorm rooms, and they open up the dorm rooms, and he just gutted an entire wing of the dorm, and it's all one just badass like dorm. And I always was like, in college, I want that. That's the thing I want to go to college. I had like a hot tub and like a sauna and like a massage room and like a full kitchen, and I was like, this is cool. And I ended up rooming with my good friend Ryan Creasy, and
you did that.
I didn't get any sleep. No, because he had the world's loudest. He thought it was really cool to have an old like late 80s, early 90s keyboard that was really loud. He was like, when I type with authority. And I was like, you are just the most annoying human being on the planet. I almost killed him. I almost like broke it over his head a couple times.
Damn.
Yeah.
All that shadow boxing paid off.
Yeah. You gotta stretch.
So I want to give a shout out to 3 more quotes that I thought of, because I was like, these are some good ones.
Yeah.
This one's been overused a lot, but Transformers the movie.
Jesus Christ.
They've ran this one in the ground. But
which one? The animated one? Or
are you Sam Witwicky?
Huh?
Sam Witwicky.
Are you
have
Sam
to come
Witwicky?
stop
Well,
the
if it was that, the
Decepticons
only
with
quote
us.
should be Optimus.
Is
Or,
there the one
no.
Sam Witwicky, welcome to Robot Heaven.
It's not that. I wish they actually
Sam
said that.
I got it on eBay.
Oh my god, it's not.
Because
It's not those movies. It's the 84 movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's One Shall
What's the
Stand,
song?
One Shall Fall.
Oh god.
Like, you got the touch.
One shall stand.
Is playing. Optimus comes
One
up,
shall
walks up to
fall.
Megatron. One shall stand. the other motherfucker.
He's like, he said something like some crazy like this ends here, and he's like, Megatron, one shall stand, one shall fight.
And then they
badass.
fight to Optimus's death.
Yeah.
I mean,
straight up.
and Megatron's death essentially.
Spoilers.
So both fall. That's weird. They
Well,
lied.
he was right.
So he's a fucking liar.
Yeah, they both lied. So that's one of them. Another one very similar is in the 2007 Ninja Turtle movie, which is highly underrated. There's a
The
scene.
CG one?
That's
Is
the one that
what-
stars the older sister from Nashville as April O'Neil.
The older sister. Oh, okay, yeah. No, wait. No. He's saying the CGI one.
Oh, there was a CGI one in 87?
2007.
Oh, 2007. I think it said 87.
And
My
you
bad.
just blew my mind with that, by the way.
Continue.
April O'Neil Nashville reference. Thank you.
Yeah, you want.
So there's a scene
Still doing
where
good work, Tandy.
Leonardo and Raphael are fighting
Mm-hmm.
and are just arguing. And then Raphael's like, why are you doing this? Like, why do you always think that you're better than me? And then Leonardo just looks at him. Because I'm better than you. And then they fight. And it's awesome.
Who wins?
Does Leo win?
Raphael ends up winning.
Really? Well, he's not better than him. No,
But it was like, oh, I needed that. So that was good. But my number one quote of all time
Quotable quotes.
is from the 1998 Disney Channel original movie, Bless You.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Brink.
Oh man, about the rollerbladers.
Yes.
I remember that movie.
One of my favorite movies of all time. It's so good. And at the end, there's a scene where Team X Blades, the evil Team X Blades,
Yeah, they have to be evil.
is going up against the Soul Skaters, aka Team Pup and Suds. And
Sorry?
Pup and Suds. They had to get
Pup and
sponsored by a
Suds.
local mom and pop.
And they got like the dog bath.
dog bath place, yeah, because they're the Soul Skaters.
Pop and subs. So
So they go up, Pup and
Eating
Suds.
subs? Oh, that's what I want to talk about. Fuck. Quick amendment.
we'll
When we were
come back
talking
to you.
about Grindr, the app, there used to be an awesome restaurant called WG Grinders. Thank you.
Good. So going back to this battle between Team Pup and Suds and Team X Blades.
Well done.
In the middle of like what's essentially the X Games like final round between
Yeah.
the villain and the hero. He's kind of down, like down points or whatever. It's the classic comeback tale. And at the halftime, he goes into the crowd and goes up to his little sister, and it's just like, "Hey, do you have any tips for me?" And she goes, "Yeah, skate better." And he's like, "Oh yeah, skate better. You're right. I just need to skate better." And that's how I live my life. Where I'm just like, what do I need to do better? I just need to do better. It's that easy.
Just be your
it's
own
that
hero.
simple.
There you
just
go.
Be better.
And then cool, she said,
love that.
Cooler if she would have said pup, and he would have gone, and suds, and they pound fists, and then the thing opens, and dogs just fucking a million dogs. And they're
Just
all
maul,
like,
just maul them.
exactly.
Like, they just eat
They're
him
all
alive.
mangy
They're
and like,
eating me alive. Why are they killing me?
Nick, it is one of my goals in life
they
to make
haven't
Brink
eaten
2.
forever.
You can probably do that tomorrow. You can kickstart that.
I want to do it with you though.
I'll just
It'll
bring
be
2
good.
sight unseen. I've never even seen the first one, but I'll
Bring back
absolutely
Eric
direct.
Can we do the dog
direct-
scene?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny.
It starts. It goes an hour and a half in, and then the dogs strike.
Team Pup and Suds, man. Don't mess
90
with them.
minutes.
90 minutes on the 91st
It
minute.
turns into a horror.
It turns into like a really graphic horror movie.
All right, the dogs beat the other team. Now get them caged. We can't cage them anymore. And they break through the glass and they're just taking over the town.
They have the strength of 3 million puppies.
Ah, Pup and Suds. That's what you call it.
That's really good.
Colin,
Yeah.
you want to take us home?
Yeah. What
Oh,
I
wait,
want.
I didn't get to say my
Oh,
quote.
I'm sorry.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No,
All
I
that
still
time
have
without
them.
it?
I asked you guys about yours. I have 2. I'm gonna slaughter one of them. But as a movie, I've watched this reason why this came up is this. I just kind of recently watched these 2 movies. One of them's from the original Superman movie.
Superman.
That was Superman 2.
Yeah, I know.
There's a great scene in Superman where he saves Lois for the first time. And she falls, and it's this awesome, like the chopper's about to fall, and all this stuff's happening, and you haven't really seen Superman yet. No one knows who he is, and literally this is what the first time audiences had seen a real Superman on the big screen. And she falls down, and he catches her, and he goes, "Don't worry, ma'am, I've got you." And she goes, "You've got me. Who's got you?" And then he flies her back up to the top.
It's awesome.
I love that.
And then he flies away, and it's just like.
He punches her in the face.
Then the puppies fucking maul. They just get on
We
there.
let them loose, and now they're eating all cinema.
One of my other favorite lines, and this is a movie that you guys probably haven't seen. It's a movie called Unforgiven. It's it's at this point, I guess you can call it a classic.
This is the Western, right?
Yeah, Clint Eastwood Western directed it. I think it was one of the first things he directed. It's about a man who used to be an outlaw. He used to be a really horrible human being until he met a woman that kind of turned him around, and then she died, and he's raising 2 kids with her.
Classic tale.
And his friend, one of his old gang members, or one of the members of his old gang, comes back and says, "Hey, there's this job that we can go do, and you're on kind of dire straits. And I know you promised your dead wife that you'll never do this again, and never be that guy again, and never drink again, and never be this horrible human killer. But we need this." And so, he goes and he gets another member of his. Actually, this was a young kid. Then he goes and gets the other members of his gang, and they go do this thing. But toward the end of it, they end up spoilers. His friend Morgan Freeman ends up getting whipped to death, and because of this, it's a great story. But so that sends Clint Eastwood his character over the edge, and he ends up. You have this amazing moment where he hasn't had a drop of alcohol in forever, and then you just see this perspective of him, his horse. It's raining, right? And as is after his friend got killed, and he looks, and you see him kind of look over, and you see his the friend in the coffin, and then he looks back to the street, and you see a bottle, just an empty bottle, get thrown out, and it kind of splashes in the rain, and then he walks in, and he goes. He's like, and everyone's like, and they're all looking for him, by the way. They're all about this whole town, this whole gang's trying to kill him. And he walks in, and he goes, well, he's got his gun drawn, and he's like, "Who shot my friend?" And they're like, "That guy did it." And he blows the guy away. Doesn't even wait for him to draw, just blows him away. And then then everyone gets up, and Gene Hackman's like, "You, sir, are a coward. Shoot an unarmed man." And he goes, "Well, he should have thought about arming himself before he decided to Oh, that's what he did. He walks in and he kills a saloon owner. Sorry about that, guys. This is very important. He walks in and he goes, "Who owns this saloon?" Because Morgan Freeman's dead body is out front. And he goes, "I do." He blows him away. And he goes, "He should have thought about arming himself before he decided to decorate his saloon with my friend." And then he fucking kills everyone. Just like, he's like, anyone that doesn't want to get killed better clear on out the back. And like 10 dudes leave, and the rest of the people are left. He just blows everyone away. And that's it. That's the end of the movie. That's like, and then he walks out, and you never see him again. You don't know if he goes back to his kids, nothing. But it's just such a cool, powerful moment, because he's like, he's got like Gene Hackman, and he's got a double barrel shotgun in his head at the very end. He goes, "I'll see you in hell." And he goes, "Yeah." And just fucking canoes his head. And it's so good. So I just spoiled the end of that movie, but if you haven't seen it, it's worth a watch. That's it.
Cool.
Colin, take us home.
I want to talk about taxes.
Okay.
Ooh.
We got to do ours.
The rent is too damn high.
Rent is too damn high. That guy was amazing, wasn't he?
Yeah.
New York City is such a fucking parody. I was talking to Tim earlier about income taxes specifically.
Sure.
And how I think income taxes are wrong. It's inherently wrong. Now, there's a lot of the income tax came in 1913, the 16th Amendment. There's a lot of confusion, even some talk that the amendment never really passed, that there's a lot of conspiracy theories about the amendment, that it was illegal and all that kind of stuff. Nonetheless, it's a law. It's been law for 101 years. The income tax came in during the Civil War briefly and in other times, but there was a United States with no income tax, and it was fine.
Awesome.
It existed for a very long time. No income tax. It was a lot of excise taxes and stuff like that, but there was no income tax, like tariffs, right? And I wanted to just put things into perspective for you guys about how much you pay in your tax, just in income tax. Not even your payroll.
I don't even
tax.
know that I want to know.
This is gonna be
this.
sad.
This is sad.
Everything sucks.
We
don't even have free health
Nick,
care.
this is your bank account. I'm like, what? He hacked my planet?
So these are the
Google at Tim Gettys.
Google
Colin,
Tim
did you
Gettys.
hack his planet?
Ask
so
him
these
how
are
to
the
hack the
marginal
planet.
tax rates for individuals. Okay,
Okay.
if you make no money to $9,000, you pay 10% tax. Okay. If you make up to $36,000, it's 15%.
Mm-hmm.
If you make up to $87,000, it's 25%, and then $183,000, 28%, $398,000, 33%, $400,000, 35%, and then $400,000 and over is 39.6%.
Imagine making $400,000.
Not only that, but imagine making $400,000 and then 40%.
That's upsetting.
Yeah, damn.
Of it is taken away from you. Now, one of the big things that I think there's a huge misconception in this country, especially with the left, about taxes, about income taxes, that the rich don't pay their fair share. And this is one of the things that really bothers me a lot, because the rich pay a vast, vast, vast majority of the taxes in this country. Now, a lot of people would say, well, they have most of the money, and that's true, right? But there has to be a better way to extract funds out of people.
There has to be a better way. There is.
Than robbing them. And, and I think that income tax is fucking straight robbery. And it's wrong. It's wrong. And I believe in something called, and I want to see what you guys think of this, I believe in something called the VAT, the value-added tax, or
that's what they have in.
They have it in a lot of places. They have it in the UK, but in the UK they also pay income tax.
Right.
So I would want the value-added tax, which is what they also call the consumption tax, if it replaces the income tax. And this is one of the things that libertarians, especially in the United States, and a lot of Republicans want to do. Herman Cain was one of those guys that proposed.
Godfather pizza.
Yeah, I love that guy until he deteriorated. I thought he had a really good idea because his whole thing was 999, right? 9%. He wanted to do 9% income tax flat, 9% VAT, 9% capital gains.
Yeah.
And what a value-added tax basically is a tax on everything you buy. So instead of if you make $40,000 a year, you just get $40,000. And then when you go buy things, then you start getting taxed. Now here's the brilliance of the value-added tax.
Lay it on me.
In my opinion, is that it doesn't tax, or at least under most plans, wouldn't tax essentials. So food, clothing,
Groceries,
fuel, things like that. Because our gas is highly taxed.
Yeah.
And then it would automatically tax the rich the most, because the rich are the most conspicuous consumers of anywhere.
Sure.
They're the ones that buy $100,000 cars. Well, if you had a 5% VAT, that's $5,000 right away. They'll go on trips that cost $50,000. Well, that's $2,500.
Now, how does VAT differ from sales tax? Because there's a sales tax.
Right, exactly. So sales tax is it's similar. The value-added tax is basically saying the value-added tax is basically a replacement, or designed to be a replacement for your normal system of taxation where you would draw most of your money, which would be the income tax. Therefore, sales tax is at a state level, and that would still exist in some states. Not all states have sales tax. New Hampshire, for instance, I live there. There is no sales tax. And then you would have state income tax if that's what the states decided to do based on the 10th Amendment. And then you'd have a value-added tax instead of an income tax. And this therefore gives you the choice about how much you are taxed or how little you're taxed, but you can't avoid it. You know what I mean? And that's what I think is most fair. So I wanted to see what you guys think about that.
So with the food, you said clothes?
Yeah, food, clothes, fuel, and housing. So no taxes on houses.
So you can just buy as much food as you want.
Right.
That seems weird.
Why?
Why is that weird?
Well, I don't know. I mean, what if the rich people just buy a lot of food?
That's fine, but then
Good for them.
you're punishing. Think about it this way: if you're low income, what do you spend most of your money on? The essentials,
Food,
right?
housing, fuel, and clothing.
So this automatically protects the poor.
But I feel like,
it's conceivable that a poor person would never pay any taxes, and that's fine.
yeah, I guess that makes sense. That's just one of those things where, if you take all those out of it, I feel like not that many things are even being taxed then.
Well, yeah, a lot of things are being taxed.
Well, any goods.
Oh, I guess
buy,
video games,
your
any
microphone, your
games.
Superman thing, your ice cup, your
Yeah.
liquor, your phone, your T-shirt,
Not my
your
ice
dog
cup.
toy,
Well, the T-shirt,
your watch.
but the T-shirt's clothes, right?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, okay, so it wouldn't be. Well, you would have to.
Well,
So
see,
there's
that's
a
what
lot
I'm
of
saying. Like,
there's a
is
lot of
there
conversation about that. Like, would it be literally any clothing? I don't know. Maybe.
Because I'm thinking of the majority of things I buy.
If Tim can get his sweet leather pants without paying sales tax on it, he's all for it.
But think about all the
sweet.
things: the headphones, the board,
Yeah,
the
anything you
desk, the rug.
Yeah.
To me, it just seems like an equitable way, because you're basically buying in. Because what income tax is to me is just fucking wholesale robbery. I never ever told anyone that they can just fucking take money from me, and I don't feel like the government's doing a goddamn thing for me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I have friends that are self-employed, right? And so they don't have to pay income tax because they get, they invoice, and then someone sends them a check, and then at the end of the year they get 1099, and then you have to pay the tax either quarterly or all in one lump sum. So it's fascinating to watch them, because they'll go through months of, I don't have any money. Oh my God, I just got paid for the last 5 months, and it's just whatever the check is, right? Because when you get paid by a vendor or you get paid by a client, they just give you the money. They don't take taxes out of it because you're a contract worker. You're not an actual salaried employee with them. So,
So how does that work though? Because then later you need to go and you have to pay. What are you paying?
Yeah, you
then?
pay.
So that's the problem. So then later, unless you have a lot of crazy expenses to bounce off against that and write off, you end up paying the full whatever your bracket is, what he just talked about. But you have to pay it all in one lump sum. And so a lot of people I know get screwed, especially the first year out, because they'll go, cool, I made all this awesome money, I've got all this money in account, and then they get a bill. Their accountant tells them, or they'll go and file their tax return, and they get told they owe $40,000.
Yeah.
They want a check for $40,000 to do. And by the way, when the government has to pay you, they can take their sweet time. When you got to pay the government, you got a month. to do that. And so that's why a lot of people do quarterlies, where every quarter you estimate what you think you're going to earn based on the year before, and you have to pay that money. And it sucks because you have to end up writing lump sum checks that you might not be able to afford at that point.
So why don't we just not do any of this?
This is what I've often talked.
It worked well for Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes went away for tax evasion. In case you didn't know that.
He was in Blade.
Yes.
I've often said this. It's the same. It's the same thing that like a lot of people have said about a lot of different issues. What if 100 million Americans were just like, we're not fucking giving you shit? Like, what are you going to do about it? You know, like, and it's like, but we don't have the fortitude to be like collectively of one mind to fight an injustice like that. It's the same thing with the TSA. I always say to the TSA, like, what if we just went to the airport and decided that we're gonna fuck an entire day up at every airport in the United States and just be like, we're just gonna take our time, ask questions. Everyone opts out when they go to the security line. Like, just fucking destroy it, you know? And like,
you would basically collapse Delta.
Yeah, like you would ruin those airlines, and you better believe that they would use their lobby in Washington to change that TSA shit real quick. If that was like, if everyone was just like, I opt out, you know, and like one after the other, and you just can't do it. It's just untenable. It's the same thing with income tax. Like, of course, if you know, you shouldn't evade your taxes.
Yeah, but how do you?
But like, if you make a principled stand as a people, and they're like, we're not doing this anymore.
Right, but how do you avoid that? Because the system is set up in such a way that the taxes get taken out before you even get the money.
You don't have to do that though. Like you don't have to, like, when you can go to your to HR at work tomorrow and be like, don't take my money out for taxes anymore, and they won't.
Yeah.
Interesting, I didn't know that.
I messed up.
And then, but you have to pay it.
And then I had to pay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why did you not have them take taxes out?
I ask people questions and they pretend they give me the right answers. I trust people too much.
Sorry.
Wow.
So,
Dick.
So like I pay 25% tax, right? Mm-hmm. Income tax only. This doesn't include Medicare, Social Security, any of that stuff. It doesn't. You know? The government just goes into your fucking wallet every 2 weeks and just takes 25% of your money.
Yeah.
Because you work. And then the greatest irony is that they then go back and give a lot of that money
to people who don't
to
work.
people that fucking don't work.
Yep.
You know? And one of the biggest things to me is there are people that literally can't work, right? We have elderly people that can't work, they need to be taken care of. We have people that are on disability, can't work, they need to be taken care of. People that are hard on their luck, they lost their job, we got to take care of them. There's a social contract there. Get it. But there's a lot of people that don't. And this is what Mitt Romney was saying. And this is what sunk him in the fucking election, but he was right. Where he was saying 47% of the United States doesn't pay taxes, which means every other person you pass on the street is a taker.
How is that possible?
And because you have a group of productive people, half the country, that pay for everything.
Yeah.
You know? But if you had the system like this, then everyone pays. You know? Like, there is no avoiding it. And the rich people will have to pay more. Like, it's just inevitable. You know? If they're going on a luxury cruise or they buy a fucking yacht or something like that, they're paying.
Yeah.
You know? And you put a nice pillow fort around all the people that don't have any income by saying, like, the things you really need, you do not have to pay taxes.
Yeah, I mean, I look at my paycheck all the time and just wish that there were more in there. So any system that would allow that to happen, that wouldn't completely crumble the economy.
Well, it's already crumbling without it, so don't worry.
Yeah, that's true. But I would be all for it. And, you know, I don't know. It's you always hear that it's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair. Well, I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about that. I just try to earn as much money as humanly possible, which is why I will be selling all of you guys to a Russian prostitution ring. Yes. Especially you. They like the big boys.
Yeah.
So with how this works,
was that supposed to be a Russian accent?
With a $2,000 MacBook,
like the big boys.
because of the sales tax and because this is one of the only things being taxed, or compared to the food and the clothes and whatever, would that mean that the tax would be just insane? It would be like a 60%
No, I think
tax?
it would be like, no, I think like a reasonable thing is like 5% on everything, you know? And maybe if you go to a restaurant, maybe there is tax. You know?
Yeah, but if you buy groceries, there's not. Yeah.
Maybe if you there's like, I don't want the government to get too involved, but maybe if you're buying like $1,000 suit, well, clearly you're not hurting, right? Like, there's got to be like, so you can have rules like that, but here's the thing: it's like either the government takes 25% of your money arbitrarily, then you still pay fucking sales tax, and you're still getting robbed at the gas pump, and you're still getting robbed when you go. You ever look at a fucking airplane ticket and how much money you're paying in taxes and all these arbitrary things that they do?
Well, I love when you sign up for the hotels online and they don't tell you about the taxes, and then you get there and it's an extra $60 a night. It's
like, absurd.
What is this for? Well, it's for the water tax. We got to tax you on water. Like I didn't use any water.
Or here in San Francisco, you pay your tax when you go to a restaurant for healthcare. It's like a healthcare tax.
That one's an interesting one. That one I'm conflicted on because I used to work in restaurants, and I used to need healthcare. I had to pay for it myself. Luckily, I was also doing a side job where I was self-employed, so I can get some breaks on that stuff. But I didn't. Part of the thing that drove me out was that I had to find a better job because I had to get benefits. I had to get healthcare, and so. What's he doing? You stop putting the cap on the dog?
He looks like Abu.
Wow.
Oh, the monkey from Aladdin. I got that reference.
But you know, so I'm conflicted about that, and also it's like it's something I don't get to choose to pay, right? It's just kind of there, and then you can ask for it to be taken off, but then who really does that? Who's like, take this off right now, right? After we had this great meal. So it's like it's a little harsh. It's like the bag thing in San Francisco.
That's just another way to take your money. Like this is what I'm saying is like no one puts their foot down and just says like enough's enough. Like I don't submit to this. This is not part of the contract.
I get super pissed with people, and now like it sucks because it comes out of one. Not to lament on the bag thing for a while, but for those of you guys who are watching that aren't in San Francisco charges you 10 cents if you want a bag anywhere. I went to Taco Bell the other day.
It's upsetting.
And they were like, "Are you that to go?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Do you want a bag for it?" And I was like, "No, I want to carry 13 tacos home by myself."
Why don't you bring a reusable?
Why
don't you save the environment?
I mean, I have those, and I don't think about that when I'm going to Taco Bell. But then my wife, her sort of fight against it now, so her sort of protest is that she's like, those bags were the bags that I used to recycle, because you can't throw a bag out that's a reusable bag to recycle. It's just, you can't do it. She goes, so now I just don't recycle. That's her stand against this.
Yeah,
that's kind of messed up.
It's just there's laws of unintended consequences to all this, but the worst part to me, I don't know how you guys feel about this, is like there's a mentality. See, like for me, I'm a Republican, right? Mm-hmm. But I actually agree with the Democrats in a lot of different ways. We've talked a lot about this, and socialists especially, right? And even in foreign policy and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of agreement there. I think the position of liberalism gets fucking laughable when you start talking about money. And specifically big government being able to do more and more the more of their money they take. And what a lot of these people seem to ignore is that there's no example of a significant, sizable, socialist, liberal-leaning country that's ever been successful. Ever. Not one example. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, well, Denmark, look at how well Denmark's doing. They have the high tech. There's like 14 million people in Denmark. Right. You know what I mean? There's 310 million people in the United States. You know, they're like, oh, well, Sweden and Finland are doing great. What are there, 8 million people in that country?
Yeah, see, my worry with that kind of a tax, though, like the VAT tax, is that they would introduce that and then they would reintroduce the income tax.
But that's
and
the
then
thing.
We would be screwed.
That's the thing is like we'd
be taxed like 70% of our income.
No, there's no way.
And Tim and I would have to finally just bite the bullet.
But there are countries that have VAT and income tax, like Britain.
It's terrible,
you know?
And that's why Britain is side note, insanely expensive to live in.
Yeah, and it's like that. Everyone always points to, like, look at our universal health care, and look, it's like you guys pay out the ass for that. Don't you understand?
Yeah.
Like,
see, that's the one thing. Like, and you know, I know Obama's taken a lot of flack for Obama. But I don't mind paying for something like healthcare for everyone, because I think that's something that should be a fundamental. Like,
I get pissed off about paying for healthcare for me. Like I hate that they make me do that.
That you have to pay for healthcare?
Yeah. Well, that pisses me off.
I don't mind an extra like tax here and there. I don't mind paying a little extra so that everyone in the United States can see a doctor if they have to see a doctor. That's probably one of the only super hardcore left tendencies that I have. If it worked, if the actual system worked and it was something that people could actually utilize, which right now it's a complete and total mess. But the income tax thing is just ridiculous. But how do you fight against it, right? Like how do you just do it?
So I mean, this is the
without
thing
going to jail for tax evasion. Like,
no, I mean that's what I'm saying. You shouldn't. No one should evade their taxes. I pay my taxes immediately when the year turns over, so I can just get out of the way. And plus, they always owe me money,
right?
Because they're just like, oh, here's some of the money I robbed from you.
By the way, I took from you and didn't pay interest on, right?
Yeah, it's like, we took too much of your money. You can have some back.
Sorry,
we won't audit you.
Not plus interest.
Obama just proposed a $3.9 trillion budget, right? Which is a fucking joke. No one's going to vote for that. By the way, the last time Obama, this is the best part. The last time Obama put a proposal for a budget forward, no one voted yes on it. No one in the Senate voted yes on it. Because everyone realized how fucking out of control this shit is, right? But everyone's argument is, like it was last year, right before the election, was like, let's tax the rich more. And I was like, why would you do that? Why would you ever do that? You know?
What if, wouldn't it be... Why not just universal tax like you were talking about 9%?
Well, flat tax, I would I think that would be a step
tax.
forward, like 9% tax for everyone.
Everyone.
Like
Because
that's
9% of $1 million is still way more than 9% of someone who's
and then
making
everyone
10,000.
pays. Like there's no, it's not equitable, right? But the argument to me specifically is this: we have a 16. This is extraordinary, and a lot of people don't really think about these things because they're going through their day-to-day life and they don't want to be scared. Like we are not very far away from complete financial calamity in the United States, and if shit goes down in the United States, it's going to collapse the entire world's economy because it's all based on the American dollar,
Which it has already.
Yeah, in 2008, we almost brought the entire world to its
world,
fucking
yeah.
knees. You know,
Greece,
and like
Greece almost had to sell themselves.
yeah, well that was kind of their own fault. That a lot of that has to do with the Athens Olympics, actually. But like the point is that like we hold this incredible power, right? That and it has nothing to everyone's like China owes your debt and they can what it's not anything about that. It's like literally specifically like the economy will collapse if something happens to the United States economy. But we owe all of this money. Now think about Obama's budget of $3.9 trillion, right? And that's considered really high. Now think about a $16 trillion debt, right? That's basically 4 years worth of Obama's proposals to pay that back, right? If we spent nothing but service the debt. That's how much money we owe. That would be like saying like we all have to work and spend for 4 years at that level and get nothing. No one gets paid in the government, no military, no departments,
right?
No roads, nothing, just to pay the debt back. And like the solution to me is like I've thought this for a long time. First, we have to get the debt in control and under control. And the way I would do that is extraordinary measures in Congress, where I would say, this year or for 2 years, we're all paying 10% more in taxes, right? Everyone's paying more.
Yeah, but the dangerous part of that is, I guess you could write that into the.
Well, yeah. So like, I would be like for 2, 4, or 5 years, where we're all fucking snowballing our taxes, and be really hard for everybody. We need to do this, like that's someone just has to like feed you your medicine and be like, we did this to ourselves and we have to get out of this hole. And once we do get out of this hole, then we can get our spending under control. Then we don't have to worry about it.
You never do it again. Yeah.
And then we can revert back and just slash the shit out of everyone's taxes and be like, everything's good again. It'll grow the economy. That would be really hard. But the thing is that no one wants to like give you the hard facts, right? Instead, the idea is just tax more, pay more. Look what happened with the fucking minimum wage proposal, Yeah,
but I mean, the thing is, like, when the first thing anyone tells you, like, if you're in a personal debt, is cut up your credit cards, right? That's the very first thing they say is if you've got $20,000 or $10,000 worth of debt on your credit card, take away your ability to spend, and you will start to minimize that debt because inevitably you can't grow it anymore beyond a certain interest rate.
Yeah. The federal government can't do that though.
But they can, because they can do things like not start 3 wars at the same time. We can do things like not have the world's largest standing military.
Yeah, but I don't disagree with you, because you have to find ways to save.
You got to find
anywhere.
ways to save.
But that's also a red herring, because the real problem is our fucking social services. That's what's costing us all the money. That is it.
They don't work and they're too forgiving.
Medicare and Social Security are why we are going to explode, right? And like no one wants to say because old people vote, right? It's always about political expediency.
That's all they have to look forward to. They're just sitting there waiting for.
No one wants to go to Congress and be like, I'm not getting elected again,
right?
Because I have to make hard decisions.
Yeah.
No one wants to people retire at 65 now. That means people can live for 30 years until 95, which is not extraordinary, and get all the medical care they want and just a check from the government.
Yeah, but
every month.
They're saying a lot of those people, because of that, are going actually broke. And they have to go back to work or find some sort of income because they can't actually afford their retirement anymore.
But they have to prepare better. These are all the hard things. Everyone's like, no, we have this social contract.
I don't have to prepare because the government will take care of me.
Right, exactly. Like the social contract's gotten out of control. I agree with you that like cutting the credit cards up is good, but the federal government doesn't have to do that. That's where the state governments are different. Every state government, except for one, I think, I'm not sure which state it is off the top of my head, has a balanced budget amendment on their state constitution. They can't spend more than they make. That's why none of them are in serious debt.
When did that come about? Because didn't the state of California go broke like 10 years ago?
None of us have. Well, no state has gone bankrupt. But cities are going bankrupt in California.
Certain counties
like
and cities
it's going to happen. And then people always talk about like how California is going to be the first domino to fall, and then they're going to go to the federal government for a bailout, and then the government's going to have to decide like what are we going to do?
Let us die.
And it's problematic to me because and I'm always interested in people's opinions on these things, because to me the obvious thing is, and something that the Republicans tried to pass, but the Democrats stood in the way, was why don't we just pass a balanced budget amendment, and then you can't spend this much money anymore. You just have to figure it out, And the Democrats are like, well, we got to grow the government. We gotta pay our way out of this problem and stuff like that. Just completely oblivious to like how bad the problem is. Like I just explained to you how bad that debt is. Everyone wants to talk about balanced budgets. Who gives a shit about the balanced budget? We need to pay the debt, which means that we have to add all of this money in every year just to pay it off. You know, like we can balance our budget, that's fine, but we're still accumulating interest on the debt. So it doesn't matter. Like we are in such a bad situation, and everyone's examples are like, let's just pay more taxes and pay more taxes and pay more taxes and pay more taxes. My thing is like, let's just cut the shit out of the government.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Do we need a president? I don't think so.
No. Do we need a Department of Education? Do we need a Department of Labor? Do we need a Department of Agriculture? Do we need all of the 100,000 people working at the IRS? See, like if we had a VAT and not an income tax, you wouldn't need the IRS anymore. They would all be done.
Lovely. That'd be a lovely place.
You know what I mean?
I'm terrified.
Like that's just like, and I don't want people to just arbitrarily lose their jobs, but I don't. This is the other problem: is that people that work for government think that they're owed a job for life, and in a lot of European countries, that's the way it is. In fact, in the Greek constitution, you are guaranteed a job for life if you work for the government. That's part of the fucking problem. You know,
Right.
For us, like salvation would be coming and say like, let's cut 1 million jobs out of the government. And that would crater the economy for a little while, but actually make the private sector, which is what drives the economy, healthier. Because they would be less saddled with debt and they'd be less saddled with taxes.
Right.
You know? Instead, like you said, we have to have this massive military apparatus and bases in fucking countries we attacked in World War II.
Right.
You know? And like we have a base why do we have bases in Germany? Like Ramstein's a fucking huge base in Germany.
Right.
Why? Because we beat the Nazis in 1945?
I imagine it gives us some sort of tactical
it
advantage
does.
against
It
the
absolutely-
French if we ever have to go to war with
It's a
them.
NATO
Bastards.
base. It's tactical advantage against Russia. But we have this Cold War mentality, right? Maybe we need it again with Ukraine. But
Yeah.
but all I'm saying is like there's all these different ways we can cut, and everyone's like, we need the scalpel, right? And cut the budget. I say take a fucking axe and just bash.
Yeah, but it's never
the
gonna happen.
shit
It's never gonna
out of
happen
the budget.
because
You know?
people don't become public servants. They don't get elected to office to do good. They don't. It's sad. I think the vast majority of people that run for Congress or run for a Senate or run for a public position do so to attain power, and they'll do anything to stay in power, and oftentimes that means they have to compromise what little morals they have to do so.
We've all seen House of Cards.
I'm basing all of my knowledge on the government from Colin and House of Cards.
You've never seen House of Cards? What is your problem,
so
Tim?
good. I
Stop
don't do the
watching
TV
YouTube
stuff.
videos all the
Tim,
time.
there's a lot. There's
YouTube.
a whole 3 episodes where they just talk about YouTube videos.
Yeah. Oh,
in
really?
House of Cards, yeah, it's kind of
I mean-
crazy. It plays a huge role in it.
Does
the
Macklemore do
problem.
the theme
Like,
song?
Yeah.
Macklemore does.
Okay.
No.
Here
but
comes
Ryan
House
Lewis,
of Cards. Going to see what happens in DC.
I really wanted you to keep going.
I'm a rapper. That's Kevin Spacey. Let's eat fucking ribs.
There's some knocking thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this.
Punch to the table.
Yeah, but I mean that's the base of the problem, right? Is we have people
Yeah,
we
the
trust these
political
people to go
system
do these
sucks.
things, and we
I don't
blindly
trust
let
them
them
at all.
But we still have this system where we let one person represent us, and that person doesn't really represent our interests. He represents the interests of whatever lobby gave him the money to go get in office, and he has to stay in office.
So what's up with Amazon?
What's up with Amazon?
I used to really like Amazon. I still do. One of my favorite.
.com we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, with
Yes.
the taxes?
Yeah, and I used to love it because I can go to Best Buy, look at the things I want, go home, order it on Amazon, and get it $100 cheaper.
Yeah, they got in trouble. People felt like it was actually like a monopoly issue. Like they were getting away with shit that brick and mortar stores couldn't get away with. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I mean, it sucked, but I like totally got it. I was like, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, that makes sense. I was hoping it would never come to that, but
Right.
it obviously was going to come to that. I don't know. To me, it's just I want a situation where, like, you know, everyone's like, you know, the Democrats and the Republicans are like equally evil and bad or whatever. And I don't think either side's evil or bad. I think that both sides have good intentions, right? Yeah, they're beholden to lobbies and the people that get them elected. Sure, but they actually have their own agendas and their own things. But the thing that really bothers me, especially about the media and about the portrayal of Republicans lately, is the Republicans are the only ones that want to tell people really what the way it is.
Right.
And, like, they're demonized for
See,
it.
people don't want to hear that.
No, like when Paul Ryan's like, why don't we, you know, who was Romney's running mate, was like, why don't we just think about raising the age of the of retirement, like 2 years? And I was like, are you fucking crazy? Like, you hate old people, and why do you
And he's
fucking
like,
hate
I
old
do,
people?
and
And he's
one
like,
to the
and he's
next.
just like, and he's like, no, like this is the reality of the situation, you know. And no one wants to hear it. Everyone acts like everything's, oh, we'll just keep spending money, let's give all these money to people, and that'll be fine, you know. Eventually, it's not going to be fine.
Yeah.
And that moment is coming very soon.
Eventually, it's going to be The Walking Dead minus the zombies.
No, but honestly, how soon?
Does that
Like, what does
work?
very soon mean?
I think that what we saw in 2008.
You remember this, Tim?
No. I mean, I know
The
I know
banking
things
crisis
happen,
too?
but
Okay.
like,
Well, in 2000.
how does that affect me?
In 2000.
Well,
in 2008,
everything would have gone to shit.
Yeah, everyone would have lost their, like in 2008. I really recommend people watch that Hank Paulson documentary. There's a front line about it too, like a 2-part documentary on the fall, but also a Hank Paulson documentary. Hank Paulson was the Secretary of the Treasury under Bush when the collapse happened, and he was saying like, it would have been 35% unemployment, and just everything would have been a deflationary cycle. Everything would have been really expensive. And that would have been the reality of that situation. That was just based on the banking crisis. That wasn't really a monetary crisis where it was like we are printing money to pay our debt. Your dollar in your wallet is worth less and less every time the Treasury prints money, right? Like money's based on scarcity. If you have 10 bottles, right? Like the bottle's not scarce. If you have one bottle, then like you have one bottle, and it just becomes less scarce. It's the same thing with money. Money's based on like what we think it's worth.
But still, I mean, video games cost $60, right?
Sure. Right.
I mean, over time they used to be 50 and whatever, but like that's not that big of a jump.
Games are cheaper technically though because of inflation. A $60 game today is cheaper than a $50 game in 2000.
So, I mean, what's getting more expensive? There's things like gas and stuff, right?
Yeah, everything's getting more expensive, but that's not the point. The point is that it's not. We're not suffering serious inflation here like they are in like Central American or South American countries or in places like where there are a lot of trouble. Well, we have an issue where like trust can be gone in the money supply really quickly, and then you have a big problem. There's just all these financial problems. I just don't feel like people want to make hard decisions and want to go through pain.
They don't.
And like I don't want to go through pain either. If I can avoid it, I would. But you know what? Like we're gonna have a generation of people behind us who are gonna be in bad fucking shape if we don't like make a decision soon. And if I've said this before, like if the older generation, the baby boomers and all that are retiring now, they're afraid that their Medicare and their Social Security are going to be taken away from them, or that they're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Like the outcome is that like we can either raise the age 5 years to 70 or something like that to make it solvent again, and we can maybe try to do those things, or eventually we're just not going to have any money left and they're just going to lose everything. Like that is the reality of the situation. They just won't get fucking anything because like when push comes to shove and the money system's fucked, like that. Oh Jesus, that was like a human cough. Like when push comes to shove,
He's
like
turning into a human.
It's just like it's not outlandish to say like that we could be in some serious financial trouble. That like we have nothing to worry about with a foreign army. We have nothing to worry about with a food supplier. We grow so much food. We grow a ton of food, so much so that we like back in the 70s used to like burn it and like get rid of it to keep the supply like the cost of food reasonable so farmers can make money and shit. Like we have a ton of like space and land and crops and all these. No, the problem is going to be that our economy is going to fall apart. And like we don't know what that looks like.
That's how it ends.
We saw a little like the window started to open in 2008 and then they fucking quickly shut it.
See, this is why people they just don't want to deal with it. It's such a hulking problem. I think people want to take their medicine or take their drug and just not worry about the truck that's about to run them over. Right?
Band-Aids.
What's that?
Band-Aids.
They are Band-Aids.
That's what happened in 2008. We saw a gun wound. Like we saw like the government. Not even the government, the Federal Reserve and the money system was exposed in a major way. The systemic, radically terrible issue that happened a lot because of the repeal of regulation in the economic markets. I don't believe in heavy regulation, but there has to be certain regulations in the economic market. And they saw this huge gunshot wound, and they were just like, let's put a fucking Band-Aid over it.
Right.
The other way would have been like, let it bleed out. Like that was the and that's what he says in the documentary. Like that was the option. It was like we could have just let it fucking go, and maybe it would. And like the notion behind that is that like we didn't bail anyone out and we like just let it all unravel, it would have been calamitous. But like we might be better now. But like the problem now is that like we just have this thing in the background all the time that can just fall apart again. And eventually I feel like we kind of have to let it.
Eventually we're gonna have to. Eventually we're just gonna have to let the chips fall where they may.
And it's going to be hard. It's going to be like the United States, and I'm not saying in a post-apocalyptic way. I'm just saying the United States will be unrecognizable when that happens.
Yeah. I mean, my thing is always this. Like, I can't. I'm not smart enough. I have no ambition when it comes to wanting to be in politics. All I can do is just live my life the best I can, make as much as I can, do the things that I want to do. I have no illusions that I will ever retire. I just don't think. I think our generation, you're just gonna have to work until the day someone goes, hey, sorry, and then puts a bullet right, behind your head. They sneak up behind you, just kill you, right? I really hope that doesn't get to that. But
Can I do it to you?
yeah, you can. I expect it to be you. I knew it would be you.
I always knew it was you.
But yeah, but that's the thing. It's like I try to be responsible. I try to save. I try to, spend to stoke the economy and make as much money as possible. And it does suck that the more you make, they just take more from you.
And the bummer is, and I always tell Greg this because I'm a chronic saver too, is that this situation hurts people that have money. Because if you have an inflationary cycle because of the money supply, the people that have actual cash, it's what happened in the Weimar Republic before the Nazis took over in Germany. It's exactly what fucking happened.
Streisand effect him.
Yeah.
Dude, there used to be stories. I mean, this is fascinating stuff in the Weimar Republic. So Weimar Republic was after World War I, but before World War II in Germany. It was a democratic republic, and they tried to make it work, whatever. They were coming out of, the Kaiser's Germany, and it was before the Nazis. What ended up happening was, like, they owed a ton of money, like an exorbitant amount of money for the war. It was called reparations, and they were the thing that ended World War I was the Treaty of Versailles, and they blamed Germany for the war, rightfully so. But part of that was that they had to pay all the other countries back for all of the shit they did.
Right.
And Germany was like, we can't pay this money. Like, we have no fucking money. And they're like, we're going to pay it.
We just lost the war.
And like, you're going to fucking pay it anyway. So what did Germany do? They just printed the money. And then they paid it all back. But what ended up happening, obviously, was that their money supply got so out of fucking control that, like, their money was worthless. And there's these stories of people go, like, in 1920 and 1929, 1930, around the time of the Depression, of, like, going into, like, a cafe and ordering a coffee, and the coffee would cost more by the time they left. Like, by the time they went to pay for it. But, like, we're talking about, like, 1,000 marks turns into 10,000 marks, turns into 100,000 marks. People would, like, have shopping carts full of Reichmarks, like the money that they would pay for things with, that were worthless. It was easier to use it as kindling than it was money. This is how the Nazis took over, because the Nazis saw this vacuum and were like, everything's fucked up, and now we're gonna fucking make it all better. And by the way, like, we're gonna fix this monetary system, and they did. Just like they just happened to fucking be crazy. And
We'll fix all this, but we hate Jews, and you need to get on board with that.
Well, because their whole thing was like a war-based economy. The economy was somewhat planned because they're fascist. They're far right wing, and obviously they were fucking hugely racist. They had conquest. They were conquest. They were fucking terrible people, but they took advantage of that situation to come to power. You know what I mean? And people lose sight of those kinds of things about, like, not only the ramifications of the money supply and how it fucks people that have money, and it fucks people that save and have hard liquid assets, but also the ramifications of who's going to come and save you, and like what does that look like, and what kind of fucking dystopian bullshit happens then. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that far-fetched because we've seen it happen. Anyone who knows history knows that that's how the Nazis came to power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so there's like all of this weird shit that surrounds these whole situations, all based on money. Like, the Nazis did all these terrible things. They were awful, fucking the worst people ever, but they came to power because of money.
So what can people do? What can the individual person do to combat this?
Fucking move
to Canada?
No, it's worse in most other parts of the world. I don't know. I don't know what can be done about it. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like
buy a gun, get ready for it. It's coming.
Skate better.
Skate better.
Skate better. Yeah. It's just it's a scary kind of situation where, like,
release the pup and suds.
Yeah, release the pup and suds.
It comes in a wave of fur.
It's just a scary thing. Like, I really feel like we need to get better people in Washington. I think we need to get people in Washington that, like, want to do the right thing, and, like, tell the truth. I just want someone to go there and tell the truth. I love politics. I love the political game. I love, all that kind of stuff. I'm a proud Republican, but, like, I don't care if it's 100 Democrats in the Senate and 435 Democrats in the House and a Democrat in the presidency. I want someone to tell me the truth.
Yeah.
Not
gonna happen.
No, anytime soon. It has to go bad. It'll go bad, and then it'll have to get better. Then you'll wash out all these assholes.
That's what happened in the Depression. I just and that could happen again. And it could be a lot. It'll be a lot worse than it was in the late 20s and early 30s.
Will they still need internet people?
No. Oh, no. Oh, definitely not.
The first people to go will be the YouTubers. They're the ones that are just the most useless.
Anyway, I don't mean to be so dire because I want to talk about taxes, but that's what it always comes down to for me.
Yeah.
Is just irresponsibility of recklessness.
Yeah.
Of just money can't solve all your problems. More money will not solve this problem.
More money.
Mo problems.
It's true. More debt, more problems. I I want people to get out there and vote. I want people to be active. You know, I always say it on Twitter, like, people get so passionate about the stupidest shit, frankly. You know, like, and I'm happy about that. I'm happy when, like, I'm always passionate about a video game or a television show or a sports team. But I want to see people to be passionate about the election, the midterms, the upcoming presidential election. Pay attention to who you're sending there.
It's too hard. It's too complex of a system. It's like
it's not complex. Go fucking vote. That's how complex
people
it is.
do vote. But I feel like people vote, but they only vote in like the
They only
presidential
vote when
elections.
P. Diddy tells them to.
Yeah.
And make shirts.
Vote or die.
And
Vote
stop
or
and
die.
like I don't know, man. Like that's all we can do is a republic. You know, like is we have representatives that go there, and there are good people in the in the House and the Senate. There's no doubt about that. They're just all caught up in the same game.
Yeah.
You know, and
I feel like you need to. I feel like step one is like eliminate the lobbyist, eliminate funding, eliminate any of those people that can, the special interest groups that can come in and like support these candidates. And those are the ones that really like they have to make these decisions. When someone gives you millions of dollars to your campaign to get you reelected, I feel like you owe them. You have to owe them, or else they're not going to do it again. And so you have to vote the way they want you to vote.
yeah, the lobbying.
And then you're not your own person.
Lobbying's a huge problem.
Huge too big.
I was always fundamentally against term limits because I feel like it tells people that they don't have a choice, right? Like it's over for you now. Like after Obama, if people wanted Obama again, they can't have him.
Right.
Like it's gonna be Hillary Clinton now. And I was talking to our good friend Sin about this. He's really into politics too, and I was like, the solution to me is not term limits per se, but just to say like, let's rethink the way we have the House and the Senate. Let's rethink how we send people there. And like how long they're there. In the House, you go for 2 years. That's a really antiquated way of thinking. That's a 1780s way of thinking. Like when like you go out one by horse and carriage or sometimes just horse and you couldn't really get home and 2 years was a lifetime because you had no communication with anyone. Now I was talking to him. I'm like, what if we had House terms of 5 years, and everyone can only go once, and everyone goes in and leaves at the same time?
Yeah.
And then the question is for them, how do we best work together, and what is our legacy going to be? Because we're all gone.
Yeah, the problem is some of these guys can literally
Yeah.
just stay. What's up?
I just really wonder how that looks on camera.
Oh, it probably looks like I'm stroking Greg. That's true. There's Portillo's right here. Wow, that's there it goes.
There's a good gift.
There it is. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine.
Anyway, this is all dire. I don't mean to be such a downer. It's just I like talking about serious things.
We understand. Thank you for doing that. We do it every Game Over Greggy show. You can catch it as an MP3 over at GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com or at YouTube.com/GameOverGreggy. Game Over Greggy for short. Full episodes go live for free every Friday at both of those places. Then over on GameOverGreggy.com, the segments get broken out for your enjoyment one by one every day, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Nick,
Yes.
Tim, Colin, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Greg.
Thank you.
Yeah.